And
Soup,
welcome everyone after a fucking long time to Music Buddies podcast. It's currently January 18, and we're gonna make a podcast talking about our favorite releases from 2019. Of course, we're really on time. Joining us now, there's Gary,
Hello.
nameless. There's Elliot, as always.
Yo.
There's Mint, who decided to join.
Hi.
There's Soup, our boy Soup.
Hello.
And Sweatshop, who you might know.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, so 2019 is long past gone. It already finished.
It finished 2 years ago.
Finished 2 years ago.
Yeah, that shit was last
Oh my
decade.
god. Stewie, we're in 2020.
So we're gonna talk about our favorite, because 2019 was a good year for music. It certainly wasn't a good year for fucking Charlie XCX, because her last album is it's not good, but apparently a lot of people like it.
All right, already starting off the bat with you being yourself.
So
Yeah, fucking laugh about it.
this is the host, the idiot who likes prog, more known as Cringe, in all the realms of this universe. So what we're gonna do now is each of you are gonna say your favorite records, your as many as you can count, of 2019, and we're gonna talk about them, because personally 2019 has been a great year for music, a great year for prog especially, but still.
Because that's what me and all my guys were listening to in 2019.
Of
Progressive
course.
rock music.
Of course. So starting off with our boy. Oh, RBG just joined. We're talking about this
Why is everyone here?
because we're recording a podcast, man. So
Oh. Why aren't you in the other channel?
because I think people still will join. So yeah. Because I think Isaac needs to join still. So yeah, we're gonna
Part of the podcast now?
yeah, sure, if you want to. We're gonna talk about our favorite releases from 2019. Do you have your favorite albums from 2019?
Igor.
Okay, so let's kick off right off the bat with Tyler the Creator, Igor. What do you think of this album, Phallus? What do you think of fucking? Personally, it's not as good as Flower Boy, but but to me, it's really good. It's a really good release for Tyler. I think he delivers.
I think it's overhated.
Yeah, people
Like, people shit on this thing, and I
Yeah,
don't get
they
why.
say like the production is bad. Like what?
What?
Yeah, the production is
Yeah.
awesome. It's
Yeah,
so
they
like
say it's, like,
lush and
bad.
pretty and nice. I don't understand when people say that.
Yeah.
the way
Like they say the hooks are bad, or like I don't know. I think the melody choices are great. That's
Yeah.
to me
so
to
catchy.
me this album is glamorous. It's really like Tyler coming apart with himself, and songs like fucking the fucking Earthquake and Puppet or fucking Gone and Thank You are really solid tracks, like some of the best Tyler has ever
Gone?
put out. Yeah, according to me.
I will actually go to bat for this album, saying that I think it is his best release. I feel like this is the natural evolution of like everything that his career has sort of built up to this point. And I feel that it's entirely his most personal album, and I think in a lot of ways it sort of serves as his blonde, which is not to discredit, how unique a record this is. I very distinctly remember it was my favorite first. It's not my favorite record of the year. It's very high up there, probably top 5. But it's definitely my favorite first listen. Because I very distinctly tried to go in with no idea. Like, I didn't listen to the leaks or anything. And I remember being blown away by just what an evolution. And it made me very happy, because coming off of Flower Boy, I was like, I want more of what I'm hearing on songs like Glitter and November. And I feel like the natural progression of that sound led us to that record. And
So I have,
it's a 10 for me.
I have a couple of things to say. First of all, Jiggy, welcome to the podcast. If you decide to join.
Thanks. Are we recording right now?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Igor by Tyler the Creator?
don't say bad word.
Igor's great, honestly. Like, it got a lot of hate because it's not as like it got a lot of hate from old Tyler fans.
Yeah.
But honestly,
that's
like,
the reason.
I used to think
And,
like Flower Boy was the better album between like.
Yeah,
Igor
like
and
I get
Flower Boy, but
really annoyed when people compare it to like Cherry Bomb.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I still think that the Flower Boy is his most personal record, but this album is the album where he just shows his personality the most. Like he expresses himself so much creatively in this record. Like
Well,
I think it's way more personal with Flower Boy because he opens up
Yeah. I agree.
himself and
Well,
he
here's the-
expands his own sound too.
I think in Igor he kind of steps outside his personality though. Like he kind of takes on the persona of Igor. Flower Boy
exactly.
is straight Tyler.
He's
Igor
taking a persona. Exactly. He's miming a character, and that's my thing. He puts all his personality and all his creative ideas, into this character that is Igor, and he just fleshes it out across an entire album. Like the song "Gone Gone" and "Thank You," it's just such a. It's like the production is great on this album. We all have to agree with that. Production,
Yeah, it's brilliant.
it's really fucking amazing. People give it shit
Sure,
because I think people
Yeah,
want
I will never understand.
want the fucking the Tyler that just was ridiculous on albums like Cherry Bomb or Wolf, which is not coming back because Tyler, ever since Flower Boy, he's growing up. He has been growing up, and I think he will keep on growing up to be apart with himself. But yeah, I think that giving shit to this album is unjustified, especially if you like the genre. You cannot disagree that this album is good either way.
It's great. Yeah. The production is so lush and pretty with all the synths.
Would you call it lo-fi? Because that's what I heard
Sort of,
people who
it's-
dislike it.
I wouldn't
right.
call it lo-fi at
The
all.
synths are sort of low. It's lo-fi at points, but it's not grating at any point. And it's all well produced and it flows really.
Yeah, it's all built up in such a way that you can feel every sort of instrument or sample that he used, and you can like his voice stands out in a really special way in this album. I think the production shines on that too because even in the
Well, okay. In my opinion, I don't actually like that he pitches his voice up like that. I don't think it helps the album very much.
I fully disagree.
I think it
I
helps.
disagree.
I think it helps to
Alright.
show a character. Like he's distincting himself from Tyler, as you said, and I think that all the choices that were on production and mixing help with that idea, in some way or another.
I don't know. It doesn't sound very good to me. I think his normal voice just sounds better.
I mean, I can respect that, but I
Who
mean,
that
I've heard him
boy?
perform this stuff live,
Honestly,
and it does not compare.
what surprised me the most is like I got halfway through it the first listen. I was like, when is he gonna rap? And I was just like, oh wow, I ended up liking it anyway.
Yeah.
I was
True. He's not so much a rapper on it all. He's like an R&B singer.
Yeah,
Like-
he rapped on a boy is a gun, but like everything else he just like sung on.
Yeah.
And what's
I was kind of surprised by that.
So we had the Cardi feature for, which was the best part of the album, in my opinion.
It's really good. It's I don't know if you're being like ironic or not.
Oh,
But
I'm not.
It was
I'm
too
not-
short.
I'm a
It
Cardi
was
fan.
too short. It was too short.
It was like, it's like just the tonality of it was beautiful.
for sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting direction, and I think what's cool is that over this decade, first I guess really with Frank, then really with Earl, and now with Tyler, we're sort of seeing like the big three of Odd Future branch off into their very own distinct, unique personalities and sounds, which it's so different from what they were doing. And you know something? I might get some shit for this. Old Tyler fans are like Eminem fans.
Yeah. At this point,
Like,
I can
it's the
I can
same
totally
thing,
see.
and it's fucking obnoxious. Like
Similar but different, I'd say.
it really is. It's just like I don't know. You can't like say that you're a fan of an artist and then like it's okay to dislike this record. It's okay to even think this is a bad record, but you can't deny that this artist is discovering himself so much and emphasizing that in his music. I mean, it's a real crowning achievement of his career, and I think even if you don't agree that it is his best, you certainly can't deny its definitely a bold decision that, in my eyes, paid off.
Okay, now something that we'll all disagree on. What's the best song on the album, according
Gun,
to you?
thank you.
Gone,
What
thank
is
you.
it?
I agree with
I
that
can't-
actually.
Dude, honestly, between Earthquake or Puppet,
Oh, Puppet's good.
Earthquake.
New
But
Magic
Earthquake-
1 is really good. Dude, I can't choose, dude.
I don't. It's hard to rank songs.
I feel like the
this.
first half is where the songwriting really shines, and the second half is just kind of how do I put this? I just feel like he focuses too much on the concept and not on actually writing any solid songs, and it just kind of bores me. But the first half is pretty promising and good.
I think he does both well with the music and the concept on both sides of the album. Like I only
I
found
agree.
like two weak songs throughout the whole thing.
I think the second half is full of a lot of the best songs. Boy is a
Yeah.
Gun, Puppet, and Gone Gone. And like those
Where's
are
the Gun
all
is good.
It's probably my favorite.
To me, is Gone Gone Thank You because
Actually-
I think Gone Gone Thank You is the climax of the album. To personally, like I think-
Igor's theme was a really good intro. That would probably be my favorite song off the album.
Word.
I love the instrumental on that.
Hell yeah.
Gone Gone is just like it tells its story very well. You know, like a lot of songs like represent turning points, and like it's a good breakup album, and I respect that.
Yeah, the story's pretty cohesive. Like if you just listen to the lyrics, you'd get it.
Yeah, and you can point out like tracks that are like specific points in like
Yeah, just by the name of it.
I think we're
Yeah,
spending a really
sometimes.
long time on this record.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, maybe we should move on to the
Okay,
new Eminem album.
so
100 Gex? 100
Fuck
Gex?
yeah.
Dude, Gex.
okay,
Fuck
so
yeah,
let's
Gex.
talk about Gex. Let's talk about
No.
Gex. Okay,
Let's
Let's talk about
let's
Gex.
let's talk
No,
about
I don't wanna.
100 Gex is one of those
No.
albums that when I listened to it first, I thought, okay, this has charm to it. Okay, this is ridiculous, but I like it. But when I actually came to revisit it, I thought, okay, this is annoying. This is starting to get really fucking
I hate
annoying.
it, dude.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Okay, that's funny. That's
It's
funny because I had the exact opposite experience. The first time I heard it, I couldn't get through the first track, and
Yeah,
now
I had the
I
same
buckle
thing.
with the whole.
Dude, I listened to the whole thing. I was like, what the dude, what is this? I can't do it. I got a headache.
Here's the thing. I feel like people either really love or really hate this record, but here's the thing. Why are we making such a big deal out of a painfully average album?
I think it's actually quite.
It's not even
I think-
average. It's bad.
For me, it's an 8.
It's because it's because Fantano chose fucking Money Machine as one of the best songs of the decade.
Which
Ooh.
I think it's a great song. I
I
think it's a
agree
great
with that,
song.
yeah.
I
it's
think
fun.
I think it's a fun record, but like obviously it's not going to be for everyone. They're not trying to appeal to everyone. I think it's a really interesting indication of where things could go. I can understand both opinions. What I don't understand is like I just don't see this thing as like a masterpiece, and I don't I can understand someone saying it's one of the worst things they've ever heard more than I can understand someone saying it's one of the best things they've ever heard. I'm in the middle. Like I've got it. I'm looking at my RYM review right here, and I said I'll read kind of what I wrote. You'll get a kick out of this first line. I said, what if Caro Caro Bonito, Skrillex, and Playboy Cardi made their own soundtrack to your favorite Flipnote Hatena posts in 2011? You know,
Yeah.
that's basically what it sounds like, and it's really hard to pin down. I think this is a record that will go down with a lot of influence, for better or worse. I just think it's cool for something like this to get as much attention as it does, and I think regardless of how you feel about the record, you can at least admit to that it is cool that this got as much attention as it did.
Yeah,
I totally
it's very, very internet.
Yeah, perfect.
Very
Perfect
internet.
album. 10 out of 10.
One of my favorite, probably my favorite thing about 100 Gex is, or 1000 Gex rather, the album is I love sending Money Machine, or like I did this in like the first week after I listened to it, sending Money Machine to all my friends and trying to guess what their reaction would be.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is this? It's awful, and who's gonna find it funny, and who's gonna get it? I thought that was really fun.
The
It's
thing
a-
with
I actually had one friend who
the
just
thing
loved
with-
it.
the
it's a good,
thing
like,
with this
personality
album,
filter.
the thing with this album to me is that it's an album that I see people listening to once personally, that I can see people listening to once, and either saying haha that was good and revisiting it and then hating it or loving it more, or just getting fucking annoyed by it from moment one, from the record starts. I think that the album is good for what it is, and what it is, it's a fucking album that is not gonna appeal to everyone, but it has its fan base, its evident fan base. However, I don't think it's a record worth of appraisal. I think it's just a dumb record that is not something that people should be losing their shit off
I can
for.
praise it real quick if you want.
Okay, praise it.
It's a combination of like thousands of different pop stylings from various different genres over the course of like the entire 2000s and 2010s, just like slammed into one, and it could only be done by Laura and Brady. Like listening to their past work, it just kind of all builds up into this. They have all the different influences, like Laura with the nightcore and a lot of the trap stuff, and same with Dylan and stuff. And it's just like it's really just one of the catchiest things I've ever heard, and I just can't stop listening to it. And no problems with the songs, and it's all good.
All right, you guys want a weird comparison, but like when you think about it, just bear with me here.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's on the same level of quality because it's not. This is our generation's Godwin Satan.
No, not at all.
Godwin Satan wasn't that big though when it came out.
Yeah,
Well,
and it,
right,
I might
but, like,
have
it
this
couldn't
rated
have
higher than Godwin.
and it isn't that good either, because Godwin Satan has personality, and this album is just a fucking.
I would
shit.
say there are many different albums you could compare it to that blend that many genres, because Ween stays pretty firmly in alternative rock.
What Ween are you listening to?
The one you're talking about. Like there's different styles of rock, but like on Gex it's far more diverse and stuff like that, in my opinion.
That's fair. I don't know. I think this record is not like as like I think it's interesting, but like I really I don't see this as like I think this has the potential to lead to something better. And I think Money Machine carries this album. Like my experience with this album and my friend's experience with this album was kind of the same. Where you listen to Money Machine, and you're like, "Wow, this sucks, haha," and then you're like, "I'm gonna listen to this again because it's ironic, haha." And then you keep listening to it, and you're like, "Wait, I actually like this song." Like,
With me, it's that okay. So when I revisited Money Machine, which wasn't like, it was 2 days ago, like the 16th, and I re-listened to it, to the entire record, and when I got to Money Machine, I was really fucking annoyed by the production, the fucking vocals, everything. To me, Money Machine is a really bad song. Personally, I think it's not even my favorite, close to my favorite
It's not the
song.
best song on it.
This is not one of my favorite songs on the album.
I
However,
agree.
It's the most single-ready song.
but still, I mean, I guess I understand why people like it, but I really wouldn't compare it to other bands.
I can't say anything about this album because like I do not like it at all.
I have an idea of how this might be paced better. What if we go one by one and everyone brings up their album of the year and then we discuss said album?
Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. So, Gary, what is your album of 2019?
My album of the year. Well, I have one that doesn't really count, and then I have my. So my highest rated album from 2019 is "Thanks Sorry" by Jeff Rosenstock, which is his live album.
His live album.
Which I gave 5 stars because I
Yeah.
love Jeff Rosenstock. And it's just amazing. It's his live sets are so.
I really like that album, and it's on my list too,
It's-
and you know that. It's
I know.
yeah,
It's
because
a perfect distillation of all his best stuff from. It's like all his best stuff from his solo records. The only like negative thing about it is that there isn't that much bomb stuff, but he doesn't really play bomb stuff anymore anyway.
Right,
Apart from a
mostly
few
stuff
songs.
with like We Cool, Post, Worry.
Yeah, We Cool, Post Worry, a couple songs from I Look Like Shit. I don't think there are any bomb songs on this actually. He played a few bomb songs when I saw him just a month ago, but yeah, this is all stuff from his solo career, and it's all like amazing versions of songs. There's some songs even from Worry, which is my favorite album of all time, which I think are slightly better in this live album, at least parts of them. Like his vocals are kind of more intense in some of these takes. If you listen to a song like "Wave Goodnight to Me," where they kind of in the live setting it turns into more of like a vicious punk song, which like considering that the political themes and everything kind of makes it hit harder. But yeah, that's my highest rated album. But it doesn't really count since it's a live album of all existing material. So my album of the year that's actually an album is the self-titled from Purple Mountains, which
Oh,
Man,
is
what a record!
yeah.
beautiful and heartbreaking. It's one of those things that kind of makes you question how you experience music in terms of the context of the musicians involved. Because
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, indeed. It was David Berman, who was a '90s indie legend with his
Silver
band
Jews.
Silver Jews, yeah. Who had around 15, 20-year career. They were involved with members of Pavement for a lot of their career, making albums, this kind of lo-fi, alt-country flavored indie rock. Beautiful, beautiful songwriting. And Berman kind of quit the scene, I think around 2008, and with absolutely nothing came out. I think he had books of poetry, but no music. And he announced in 2019, like, hey, I'm coming back. I have a new project called Purple Mountains, dropped a few singles. The album came out in the summer, and everyone was really excited. There was a tour planned. There was a lot of stuff in the works for Berman. And I think it was 2 or 3 weeks after the album came out, he ended his own life, which that's what I was talking about with like the context in which you experience music, because having that happen and with the context that he was severely in this state of severe depression to the point where he did end his own life, and then listening to certain lyrical themes on the album, certain songs, it hits harder. It's really just a beautiful, sad. I mean, even without that context, I think it's an excellent album in the way it's produced and the way the songs are written. But with that context in mind, it's more depressing, I guess is what I'll say. I think All My Happiness Is Gone, which is also one of the lead singles, is an amazing indie song. And Nights That Won't Happen is
Absolutely
probably the most depressing song in there for me. And yeah, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful album. Could not recommend more.
I may go as far as to say it might be the best thing that Dave was ever involved in.
I might be inclined to agree with you.
It's really close. I mean, it's just it's weird because it hits a lot of the same notes as, strangely, there's 2 records that really come to mind with this. One makes a little bit of sense and one maybe not so much, but I get a lot of Slanted and Enchanted, and I get a lot of also A Crow Looked at Me on this record.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's just raw Americana in the state that Americana really can be in 2019. It's a phenomenal record,
I personally I experienced this album because it was well known that that his death was a big event in the music world, or at least among music fans. However, I personally I think this album is good. It's not bad at all. It has some great songs like All My Happiness Is Gone and Nights That Won't Happen. My personal favorite is the ending song, like Maybe I'm the Only One for Me. That was my favorite song. However, I think that there are this is gonna sound like a harsh thing to say, but a lot of things could have been fleshed out in this record. A lot of things could have been improved. However, I respect the man and his legacy, and I honestly think that if people choose this as their favorite album for 2019, it's well earned. I mean, all the songs are great. I have little problems with a couple of sections on some songs, like Snow is Falling on My Head and then Margaritas on the Fall.
I love that.
I have a couple of problems with the middle section, but still, I think that this album, for being an indie rock and all country album, I think it's great. And personally, even though I may not think it's the greatest thing ever made, I do think it's a great legacy to be left by an artist. I think that his best stuff is with Silver Juice though. Like
what album with what Silver Juice album would you point to?
American either American Water. It's a tie between American Water, Bright Flight, and the Natural Bridge. But I personally tend to lean more to American Water.
American Water and Natural Bridge are probably what I'd point to for best of Silver Jews, but Purple Mountains gets close to those, man, for me.
Okay,
Maybe even surpassed.
Anyone else listen to the album that would like to say something?
I would like to say that the cover art's really good.
Yeah, the cover art is
Yeah,
really
the
good.
covers are.
And also, there's like one square is like a geometry dash wave.
Yeah, the one in the middle kind of looks like it. My other like runner-up that I think I have the same score as Purple Mountains is Schlagenaam by Black
Yeah,
Midi, which I'm
like
sure
Black
we'll be
Midi.
talking about as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. This is actually one of my favorite albums of 2019 for how it's what, and this is gonna sound weird, but it's one of the more approachable like noise rock albums I have listened to in a long time. Like this album can throw you
really is.
can throw you off easily. However, it's a good noise rock experience, especially if you want to get into noise rock. I would recommend you this album and maybe a couple of others. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like the
Alright.
fucking Western is one of my favorite songs of the
Mm.
year, and I love Western with all my heart. It's 8 minutes of just this.
The lost American football riff.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's really good. It like this combination of noise rock and math rock into one genre that is chaotic but yet organized. I think it's great, and I think this album shines for what it is. And what it is a great noise rock album and a really inventive.
It's
one
also
at
really
that.
catchy.
Yeah, it's also really
Like,
fucking
surprisingly
catchy.
catchy.
Yeah.
And like enjoyable to listen to, like good sense of humor through.
Yeah. I still like people hate this album on some parts. Like some so-called noise rock fans hate it with all their hearts for how it's not like awfully experimental or something. I don't know. the excuses they try to put. So what do you guys think about the album?
It's phenomenal. It's in my
Schlagenheim?
top 5 of the year.
Schlagenheim is good. I like some of the songs, and it's pretty enjoyable.
I liked it. I don't remember my full opinion. I should re-listen to it, but I remember it being really good.
I think it's okay. I like it, but it's nothing that impressive. But I think they have potential to be really good in the future.
Yeah, it's pretty like basic. I would say they can.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of points where they can improve on some stuff.
Yeah.
If they include some of the singles that they released after the album, I think 7-Eleven, I forgot what the other one's called. Those are really good. If those had been on the album, it would have improved a little bit.
If they put Dead
Oh,
Sheeran
Doctor?
on the album, you know.
Oh, Dead Sheeran, yeah. That came out this year, I think.
Yeah.
Like very recent.
But yeah, I mean, it's good for what it is. And what it is, it's kind of an approachable noise rock album, and I think it shines for that. You know, Western is still one of my favorite songs of the year, so that is something I will held into that. So, are those your picks for your favorite of the year, Gary?
Yeah, pretty much. I have other things, but I'm sure other people will bring them.
Okay, now moving on to Elliot. What are your favorite releases from this year?
I'll do 2 of my favorites.
Okay.
Since we just did 2. So we're gonna start things off with Caligula, my album of the year.
Okay.
Which
Oh.
is genuinely like having the experiences that I do, without getting into specifics, but knowing a lot, of what Kristen went through growing up, and having a lot of very similar experiences. There's something so cathartic about this album. It just sounds like suffering. It just sounds like pure spite and hatred. I keep coming back to the word cathartic, but really it's such a release of just pure hatred and pain. And it's, people call this album corny, but like, I feel like it would be corny if the evidence wasn't there, if the writing wasn't on the wall. And I don't think anyone can doubt that, like, Do You Doubt Me, Traitor is genuinely like one of the greatest songs of the year. It's absolutely gut wrenching. It's
I
absolutely fantastic.
I so I don't know if I really don't know if you guys have listened to The Origin of My Depression by Yuboa this year. Came out this year.
Yeah, phenomenal
No.
It's
record.
one of my favorites of the year. And I always say this, and I'm gonna say it for the podcast. The Origin of My Depression did a lot of things better than Lingua Ignota for me. Uh, because I I don't think it's a bad album. I think it's really personal, and I think and I understand what you say that people can relate hardcore to what is on this album, which are experiences that this woman went through, and fucking got through them. Like you can tell that she suffered, especially by the way she performs. And to me, the thing that shines on this album are the vocal performances. For me, those are the things that are outstanding across the album. However, I have many problems with what is the pacing of the album. I don't think it progresses in a really kind of approachable way for what I need to revisit it. I haven't revisited.
I don't think approachability is really the point.
Yeah.
I think it's a record. I would actually, you know what album I would compare this to the most in a weird way? Patty Waters Sings. I get a very similar feeling from this record that I do Patty Waters Sings. It's like if Patty Waters Sings, if the entire album was Black is the Color of My True Love's Hair. It,
Uh,
it's just this genuinely fucking, you know, just soul crushing, uncomfortable affair. And I think, you know, I don't think anyone that I've met who's listened to this goes out without having some sort of guttural reaction to it, which is an indicator of powerful art.
I think this is a trauma that shaped itself in form of an album. Uh, I mean, my favorite song of the album is still "Spite Alone." Holds me aloft. I think it's called 7 minutes,
Yep.
and to me that is the kind of climax that I was looking for on a Death Industrial album. Personally, I don't think this album personally is one of the best of the decade or one of the best of 2019, but I can see why people think that. However, um despite of all the problems that I have with it, I can say that this is truly one great album. Something that people should at least listen to once, if like, especially if they like industrial, like they will adore this album. So
I would like to say that I feel like you were talking about how you had known previously to listening to it, the experiences that she had gone through. I think another thing you could add to the album is how um, I feel like people who don't know that and haven't experienced that are also affected by it, which I think would probably add to just how powerful the project really can be.
yeah,
I feel like it can get by like with the when the songwriting isn't that good, it can just get kind of by on the disturbing atmosphere and just like carry you through the whole album because it's just got that such good of a presentation that I don't really think the songs not being as strong as the other songs is really that much of a detractor for me at least.
yeah. I mean, when I go into an album, I look for like a combination of characteristics. Like personally, I'm not looking. I don't go in thinking, oh, this album has to have this and this and this and this and this. No, an album can surprise me, take me off guard, and for all the hype that this album had previous to when I listened to it, uh, I would say it didn't live up for it. I think it's a really personal album. I think that people either who have lived these kinds of experience or who haven't can feel. I feel like this album touches you in some ways that you wouldn't like to, because it's that level of like a human being opening their soul up to the whole world to see in this aggressive and fucking chaotic way. But still, I mean, I think it's an album that should be checked out. If so, so what do
Something I'd
you?
also like to say is that like how much of a drastic improvement this is from her last full album.
Oh, from All Bitches Die.
Yeah, that
Uh,
one like is in my opinion it's just like so meandering and unfocused than this one is. They both kind of go for a similar thing, but I feel like this one, with all the more, it has more softer moments, which I feel like just lets it be more dynamic.
I think I prefer All Bitches Die to this album personally. Like All Bitches Die has the fucking 15-minute song, the opener that is just enough to win me over this album. But still, I think that they both take a different approach to the topics that they choose to talk about. And I
Fair
think
enough.
that what Lingua Ignota, fucking Caligula, tried to do on Caligula is something that she executes well, and that I can see people loving to death. However,
Sure.
I don't think it's something that would fucking be best of 2019 personally. So
Okay.
what do you guys think about Caligula? Besides Elliot and Sweatshop, like
Never heard.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
It was just a genre that I really had no idea about, and I wasn't really ready.
I should have listened to it. I might listen to it, but
Yeah, now I might.
okay. So moving on to what's the other album you choose to?
Right, so this isn't necessarily my number 2 of the year, but it's an album I really want to talk about because I do love it a lot, and it's just an album I can talk about a lot. I mean, I feel like it was sort of an inevitability given the legacy of the show. But let's talk about Leaving Meaning.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
To me,
What?
okay. So I wanna open this by saying this. People went into this album expecting things from the trilogy.
no,
And-
I didn't.
No,
Actually,
not
the
you.
literal opposite for me.
Many people that
I was
know,
hoping it would be different, to be honest.
many
Yeah.
people that went into this album that I know went expecting things from the like things that came out of the trilogy. However, to me, this album is slowly becoming fucking flawless to me. I loved the fucking single, Living It's Coming, It's Real, the first single that came out. To me, like this album is like a mix of White Light from the Mouth of Infinity and My Father Will Guide Me Up into the Sky. Like it's the perfect combination of those two into this perfectly, post rock fucking gothic country and at moments even drone album. I fucking adore the approach that the Swans took on this album because it's something that I admire a lot. Like,
Yeah, if I may.
No, go
Well,
ahead.
actually, funny story. I have 3 signed copies of this album.
fucking
I have two.
hate
Okay.
you.
They accidentally sent me a second vinyl copy.
Can you send
I've
me
got
one,
on CD
please?
too. No, it's going to my friend for his birthday.
Aw.
Well, here's the thing about this record. I think if you went into this expecting something similar to the trilogy, you have no idea how Swans works.
Yeah.
It's very obviously going to be different. I think what is absolutely terrifying is how consistent this band has been this decade, and this shows me promise that that's not going anywhere anytime soon. If Leaving Meaning is an indicator, because I almost wonder if Leaving Meaning feels like a transitional album. I have no fucking idea what it could transition into. I think that in a lot of ways, yes, I definitely hear what you're saying. I think thematically this is the new Children of God, where it very obviously deals with things like religion and cultism and trauma. I mean, I think what's very interesting is you definitely hear there are definitely like nods to previous eras of the band. The Hanging Man definitely feels like the post-rock trilogy. And what's very interesting, it's interestingly, I'm not the only person I've heard say this. My friend, my guitarist, also said this. My Phantom Limb harkens back to like Filth in some ways.
Yeah.
As far as the repetition, as far as it's great. Sunfucker is
To
my
me,
song of
to
the
me, in It's Coming, It's Real, it's literally the riff, like the fucking acoustic guitar from Failure, but stretched out.
I mean, it's just 12-bar blues.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's 12-bar blues. Yeah.
And
I mean,
the fucking remake of Amnesia caught me so off guard, and I ended up
It's great.
loving it more than the original. And it's
I'm
still
bummed. I'm bummed we didn't get the remake of Goddamn
God
the
in the
Sun.
Sun. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We got
because I know
some fucker though. Some fucker was fucking great.
well, Sunfucker's my song of the year. I am absolutely terrified and excited to see how they play this live. What's interesting is that with a lot of Swans records, my guttural reaction is unease. At no point am I uneased by this album. It was the most fun I had listening to an album this year. I just had a big stupid smile on my face.
favorite song from this album is something that a lot of people disagree with. It's The Nub. The Nub is my favorite song of the album, and it's one of my
I
favorite
like
songs.
the nub. I like the nub a good deal. It's definitely not one of my favorites on the album. I'm actually going to be in the minority here and say Some New Things is one of my favorite songs on the record. I just love that, like that weird sort of like what the fuck is that groove, but it's cool. They've never really done anything like that before, and it works. I don't know. I think this definitely is an indicator of a next album. I have this at a 9 out of 10. It's
Me too.
it's
Damn.
probably I have it as my sixth favorite Swans record as far as studio overall.
It's a
which-
9? Oh.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
me it's a
I-
9 as well. Yeah.
It's phenomenal, and it's only grown on me over time. And also, I think that this record, as far as like the main Swans studio albums, hosts the most unique song after Volcano. Like as far as like, there's nothing else like this in the Swans discography, which is What Is This? It's so. I almost want to call it the happiest Swan song. It's so joyous and so bright. That's a joyous and bright.
There's-
are words
there's
that I would use to describe this
the-
record.
Like the thing where I summarize where most fans have their problems is the fucking I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure Sweat knows and Mint knows the fucking the music breakdown review of this album, which I disagree a lot, and I can see people being disappointed by this album in many ways. However, as you said, if you expected Swans to be doing kind of the similar thing or not to change at all or not to approach new sounds, you definitely are like haven't listened to their entire catalog.
Doing it wrong.
I was kind of hoping they would change more on this album, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see that.
after listening to It's Coming, It's Real, I expected literally a White Light Love of Life Part 2, you know? I expected that.
I was kind of. I feel like what they should have done is like. I know people really dug Sunfucker and songs like that, but like, I hope at least the next album is just like they go full on the ambient stuff, like, and the softer material, because I feel like that's the new stuff on this particular album. It's still like. I feel like they're slowly losing the repetition, and I feel like that's a good thing.
Personally, based on interviews that have been made to Jira and members of the band, I think that the approach that this band is gonna get is gonna go either to ambient or to return into their folky stuff.
Oh man, ambient swans.
Yeah, return into their folky stuff with drone aspects to it, which would be fucking great too. You know, fucking redeeming for what actually a remake of Goddamn the Sun would have been really amazing on this album, as you guys said. But yeah,
I feel like I
I'm
recommend.
a bigger fan. Go ahead.
No, you can go. I've talked enough.
go ahead.
I'm a bigger fan of their noisier stuff. Like I think public castration is like their best stuff.
Yes. I love that
But
one.
like, I just completely forgot to listen to the album Leaving Meaning. I just like, as soon as it came out, I was like, oh, it's out, and then I just didn't listen to it. So I don't really have an opinion. But
I would probably recommend Leaving Meaning to people who didn't really dig the trilogy too much. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was like these albums would just waste your time, because I would agree to an extent, and I feel like Leaving Meaning also wastes your time, but it doesn't waste as much of it.
it's only an hour
So-
and a half. I mean, so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's my 5th favorite album of the year, and I really adore it. I like, to me, Swans didn't disappoint at all. Everyone was saying this is gonna disappoint. It's not gonna be as good. I think it lived up to the hype and it surpassed it. Songs like Some Fucker, It's Coming, It's Real, The Nub, Living Meaning, the self-titled song doesn't get much love. You know, it's what I also love is the fucking cover. I don't know why I
Yeah,
like
it's so
it
minimalistic.
so
I love that design too.
Cover
Yeah.
art is good. Your opinions are just bad. By the way, check general.
I don't know. It's kind of like bad compared to every other album art.
Of course,
I mean,
prog
I
opinions
know.
are shit, you know. It's
I can like look at like when I ever put this album in a chart, it just kind of disturbs me how ugly it is, contrasted with other things.
No, my Topsters is ruined.
Soup, have you listened to the album? Have you listened to Living Meaning? So so after Living Meaning, we don't know what to expect from Swans for like at all. We don't know what direction they're gonna take. However,
Crunk.
I hope that they keep on being as consistent as they are with their
Bubblegum
material.
bass.
Bedroom pop.
Pop
Bubble,
punk.
bubblegum bass. PC
Jeff Rosenstock featuring Swan.
House.
Cloud rap.
We don't know where the Swans are going next, but where
Jazz fusion.
Yeah, what part of the pond are they gonna go next?
Classic.
I hope they go post industrial dungeon
Ooh, that would actually be
synth
cool.
dungeon synth.
I can see them doing that.
Post-industrial is a very bad term, but it would be a good album.
No, I'm just making fun of stupid.
I just hope that fucking Jera raps on the next album. You know, he gives us some bars about rape. You know, it's what every man wants. You know, just hearing Jera rap about
Michael
rape.
Gira jazz rap album. Yeah, let's do it.
Didn't they already do that in a spoken word thing?
Yeah, just put a beat behind that. Just get Swans produced by
Can we
Math.
talk about Pet Sounds now?
Of course, the worst album of the Beach Boys. Of course, we.
Bro, you're 60 years late.
Okay,
In
so
1960.
Oh, seven. Oh,
Transition.
what,
Trans-
not 70. I can't.
That was.
okay, Elliot, are those the only two albums that you have high of the
I
year,
mean,
like
wait,
that you want to talk about?
about? We can talk about the new Shoo Shoo record, which is great.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it. It's still.
Wow.
No,
I haven't heard it.
no.
I can talk about it if
hold
you
on.
want. It's
Girl,
pretty
girl.
good.
I mean, Girl in a Basket for fucking.
No, go ahead.
Wait,
I haven't.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you haven't heard it yet? I'm looking at your.
No.
rating on our
No.
right
I
now.
fucking misheard you. I thought you said shoe as in shoe. I said like I don't know how to pronounce that band still. Fucking the fucking shoo girl with the girl with basket of fruit. Yeah, I have it on my chart even. I don't know. It's just that after all this year, like the year started strong with fucking this, especially with Shoo Shoo releasing a new album. My favorite Shoo Shoo stuff is, and ironically, the fucking covers they did for the Twin Peaks soundtrack.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's gonna be fucking. I don't know.
I don't know if I get.
I prefer
that
I prefer Forget to this album personally. I prefer Forget to this album. Like I think Forget is a much more tighter, like much
I
more
don't know.
direct album than fucking Girl with a Basket Fruit with basket.
I mean,
basket fruit.
I liked Forget a lot, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily better.
Yeah, forget about it.
A promise.
My favorite,
but like,
my favorite song of the album sure is The Wrong Thing. I love The Wrong Thing a lot. Like The Wrong Thing has been on my playlist for a long time, and I don't know. I don't have a lot of like, and ironically, I don't have a lot of things to say about this album. Personally, I think it's good. I think it's really good. However, it's still like the later half, like after The Wrong Thing, like the last three songs, to me just don't make it. To me, Normal Love was kind of an off ending for an album to me.
I think
But
you're
yeah.
wrong.
I mean, what do you guys think of Girl with
I
Basket
think
of
you're
Fruit?
wrong.
Of course. I like prog. My opinions are meant to be wrong, you know?
Do you
Shut
like
up,
Emerson,
like,
Lake and Palmer?
okay, so like, Shoo Shoo, like, I feel like as a band, I just haven't gotten them. They seem like really, really gimmicky. Not in the same, like, another band I would compare to being like overused on gimmicks for each album is like King Gizzard. Definitely in a different way, but like, with all the separate covers, it just seems like they're trying too hard on a lot of times. I would say that this is their best album. I wouldn't call it great because it still definitely suffers from a lot of the things that a lot of their other projects do. It's the pacing is is pretty good. I feel like every song deserves to be there, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. I think I just like this because it's really like kind of the drum. It's very rhythmic based, and I feel like that's a cool direction that they can go in.
But
Pumpkin
fellas,
Attack is also their best song.
fellas, it's not bolded on RYM. I can't like it.
Oh shit!
It's not bolded. I'm gonna head out. It's not bolded.
So what do you guys think about Girl with Basket of Fruit?
I mean, it's not Fortnite original soundtrack, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, basically.
Get out.
Okay, Gary, what do you think of Girl with Basket of Fruit?
I've not heard it.
Ah, shit.
I tried to listen to Shoo Shoo twice, and both times I was like, "This is weird. I'm gonna turn it off."
Yeah.
I'll try again.
Wait, Gary, what's your favorite album of all time?
Worry by
Me
Jeff
listening to
Rosenstock.
Worry. There, haha. I really like that album.
Okay, Jiggy, what are your favorite albums of 2019? The ones that stand out for you?
Okay, I didn't actually listen to a lot of albums that came out this year. Honorable mention to Lil Sims and O3 Greedo for Netflix and deal, but first one is Quelle Chris Guns.
Great record.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Honestly-
that was a pretty good one.
Don't know what to say about it other than it's sick. The themes are there, the atmosphere is there. And what can I say?
I will say this about that album, though. It has nothing to do with the music, but that album covers genuinely one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, it's not
honestly,
that bad.
I think it's kind of sick.
What album?
Funny.
Guns by Quelle.
Okay.
I mean, it's all right. It's an all right record, but it's you see, it's rap, so it's actually bad.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
rap more like crap.
I mean,
Ah,
thankfully, rap music was saved. Actually, last night
By Ben
By
Shapiro.
Eminem.
by
By
Marshall
Eminem,
Mathers.
yeah. By
Oh, yeah.
Music to be Murdered by. Oh shit.
The rap
Yeah,
gods
that's
come
my
back.
other album of the year actually.
No one else needs to release music this year.
That's true. They actually just shouldn't.
Okay, Jiggy,
Stop releasing music.
What are your other favorite albums?
The other one is Bandana by Gibbs.
Oh,
and,
that's
hey, Bandana. Bandana was. I still prefer Pinata. That's.
I honestly, I was sort of disappointed because I was expecting it to be way better than I was like hoping it to be, but it was still good.
Did you guys see the?
Honestly.
I prefer the the NPR Tiny Desk series.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a series of a couple songs from that album with like a live. It was Madlib and then a live band, which was really cool. And I actually preferred that to a lot of the stuff on the album.
But Bandana,
So did I.
Bandana gave
So did
us
I.
gave us Crime Pays, and Crime Pays. If it's
Oh
not
yeah, that's
one
one of the best
yeah,
songs.
if
That
it's-
might be the best rap song of the year.
To me, it's
Honestly,
one,
I don't think it's even the best on the album
To
because
me,
it has Flat Tummy Tea as well.
Education is fucking great as well.
Oh, and Education is amazing. The
Yeah.
features on
The
Education.
whole album is
Black
pretty
Rock,
good.
great.
Yeah, ever since I listened to Quasimodo, I loved fucking Madlib like crazy. However,
Yeah,
I still think that Pinata had his ideas way like executed in a better way. However, that doesn't mean that this album is bad. This album is amazing. I love it a lot. And it's honestly growing on me. I fucking love how fucking Bandana's like the fucking intro to Bandana, like like I don't know.
Obrigado.
Yeah, Obrigado, like this 29 seconds, and then goes to freestyle shit that is literally the name of the song. And it's,
Mhm.
I don't
That's
know.
honestly one of the best songs on the album as
Yeah,
well. It's like crazy. Like Madlib's production on this album is like it's amazing that he's been producing amazingly since 2000
honestly
and he
think
hasn't fallen off.
I honestly think that Madlib's production is improving. However, what kills like what makes this album not shine as much as Pinata is the fact that the features and the performances could have been better on some songs.
Yeah.
Like Message Seats and fucking what was the name of the song? Practice like let me down a little bit, and Get Damn and Get Damn is I don't know, but still it has education.
Okay, we have to fight. We
It
have to
has-
fight for saying "Goddamn" isn't a great song because that's one of my favorites on the album.
Education and Crime Pays though are some of wow, although those songs just blew me out the bed ever since I listened to them. I love Education a lot. Education is my favorite of the album, and Crime Pace.
It's up there.
Yeah, and Education and Crime Pace is great too. You know.
Yeah. Also, Calm Olive. The push feature on that song and the killer mic on it, like that's just an all-star track.
Pusha T is making good.
Killer
moves.
Mike too. Yeah, it was a great one.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about a bandana?
I think it's great, but I don't think it's as good as Pinata.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't have many things to say. I'll just say that I was very bored by it.
I can see that. I didn't return to it a lot, so.
Honestly, I don't know if it was I don't know who was better than Pinata, but like, it was definitely more consistent than Pinata.
I can see people digging it. It's just not really. I don't know. It just didn't really click with me like it did with a lot of people. Cool album cover though.
Word.
Yeah, I love a fucking album covers with Madlib on it, with the Madlib character in it. Okay, so moving on. What are your favorite albums of the year, Mint?
I want to give a little bit of a preamble.
Okay.
Well, first, you guys can hear me well, right?
Yeah.
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 All right. So, the thing with 2019 was that I didn't really go out of my way to explore as much. I mean, I still listen to a lot of albums that came out 2019, but I didn't make it as much of a point to do that. I made it more of a point to listen to stuff that I enjoy listening to casually for pleasure, because it's not like I have a review show or something. Like I have to listen to all these releases. So even like some of my favorite stuff, like I didn't listen to a lot. I didn't really think about a lot. The only reason it became like a favorite of mine is because like I enjoyed it when and some of the most critically acclaimed stuff kind of let me down. Like I wasn't into the new Clipping album
Oh.
that much. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that good. I wasn't into really the new Danny Brown album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what
I was
else?
super disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
by the new
Speaking of
Danny Brown.
disappointments, let's talk about Kanye West.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, now that's where I kind of disagree. It wasn't that bad.
It was
wasn't
bad.
bad.
It was.
It was
bad.
horrible.
It
Everyone
was
disagrees with me.
It was-
I don't think
it
it was.
was
No,
bad.
I'm just like bringing it up because if I recall correctly, Minto likes every Kanye album, but he
Oh,
does
yeah.
very much dislikes that one.
Yeah.
I,
I'm a Kanye stan.
when I listened to fucking Jesus is King, I was like, okay. I stay with the leaks. The leaks are way better than this shit, you know? It's just...
Yeah, dude, I was like listening to every hour. I was like, oh my god, this might actually be really good. And then it just like went downhill.
Yeah.
But like it had like a few good songs that I really enjoyed.
To me, none of the songs were like fucking, you know, that I would call good. I would call tolerable, because most like Kanye's production in this album is just horrible. It's just,
I disagree.
it's
I
just
disagree.
horrible.
Yeah.
To me, Kanye's production on this album is horrible. On many
Okay,
points.
in my opinion, there's at least two really good songs on the album. That is On God and Follow God. Even though the rapping on God isn't that good, Pierre Bruin production
Yeah,
is sick.
yeah, those two songs I like. But I also like Water and Every Hour.
I dislike.
In my
Water a
opinion,
lot.
sorry. In
No,
my
no,
opinion, the
think,
best moment on the album is Pierre Bjorn's beat tag at the end of On God.
I could see that. So, leaving aside that Kanye West disappointed fans and not fans alike, okay, Mint, what are your favorite albums of 2019?
Well, my favorite album of 2019 is Nostalgia Critics The Wall.
Oh, of course.
The greatest
Amazing choice.
masterpiece.
I have
Progressive masterpiece.
I have a thing to say. If people think this is one of the worst things ever made, I would like to be them, because I have heard way worse stuff. Like I honestly think it's not as bad as people. It's still pretty bad. I'm not defending it.
It's one of the worst parody albums.
Yeah,
ever
it's
made.
one of the worst parody albums ever made.
I mean, I can't even really name like 10 parody albums. So
Well, if there
anyone
is
knows
a list
anything
for
worse than
parody
it,
albums
like-
that are the worst, that would be number one.
He
Yeah.
should genuinely feel bad about it.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, I'm so. Why
Rob-
did
Rob
Rob
Sc-
Scallon help him, dude?
Rob
Why did he
Scallon
have to?
suck dicks, you know. Even his solo stuff is fucking horrible, you know.
I love Rob, dude, and he really had to help this guy with this.
well, I mean, Nostalgia Critics probably got a lot of money. You know, I don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean he's
Like, all I have to do is
he put-
couple instrumentals for music that has like 50 different guitar tabs for each song. This is a piece of cake.
Mhm.
he put out the fucking review of the Chihuahua Beverly Hills Chihuahua like a couple of days ago. So, I mean, he's still on it. He still makes videos and he still makes a profit from them. And I think
Because he's contractually obligated to.
that the fucking Nostalgia Critics The Wall brought him more attention than it should have. Like everyone blew it out of proportion, saying, "Oh no, it's not good. It's fucking 0 out of 10." Like,
Because like
Okay.
it's literally like parodying the whole album, and it was just so bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
picking
If
the
you have
middle of
heard
the road album to parody to begin with.
Yeah, the wall. I'm not really big on the wall, although, but no.
I'm an Animals stan.
me
Yep,
too.
same.
Yeah.
Animals is a million times better. Yeah,
The best Pink Floyd album ever.
Correct.
I don't know. I'm more of a Wish You Were Here guy, but yeah, I can see Animals.
Yeah,
Wish You Were
second
Here is,
best. Yeah.
But here's the thing about the wall, the nostalgia critic wall. Please link me something worse than it, because I don't know if that's possible.
Oh,
Are
of
you
course.
talking, like,
I'll go
Are
to
you
it.
talking sonically, or are you talking about like the
Just with an
existence?
end score, end score. I couldn't possibly give that album a single point for anything.
All right.
It was
Okay.
horrible.
I can very
I'll
easily
say
find
you-
an album that
Listen, do you know the band Torture?
John Parr's
Torture?
The Mission.
Oh yeah, I listened to the first song of that after the review of Gary.
After
And I-
my review.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
You know what? You know what did come out
It's-
this year that nobody's talking about that was fucking atrocious?
What?
There was a Pornhub Valentine's Day album,
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
god, I saw that on
which
my
is
way. I haven't listened to
significantly worse than fucking the wall.
I haven't heard about that since like March.
It features artists such as Little Xan, 6ix9ine, Asian Doll,
Why
some
haven't you heard of
classic
this?
people contributing to every fantastic song.
You know,
I listened to
You
the
know-
Lil Xan song.
you know what my worst, like my least favorite, like 2019 to me has also given me some of the worst albums I've ever listened to. And Nostalgia Critics The Wall, as much as I dislike it, I have to say it's not by far one of the worst things I've listened to this year. Let's go through it. Okay, let's start with the obvious one. The Big Day by Chance the Rapper
Oh yeah.
was really
Do I have
fucking
to? I mean,
bad. Yeah. However,
Dude,
skipping that one, Madonna released an album this year. Fucking Madonna.
Really?
Yeah.
she released an album?
Called Madame X.
you know, I
And
mean, if
it
you're
was-
listening to a full album released by Madonna in 2019, I think you should probably be doing something else.
I listened to it in the car with my fucking sister.
Bro, you're
And
like
the-
50. Shut up.
Okay, so the thing was not with my sister, but I was on fucking Chile and I was with some friends, with my ex's friends, and we were going in a car, and the fucking girl goes and it's like, hey, Madonna album.
I'm looking.
Oh.
I'm looking at like some of the lowest rated releases of 2019. People are still making breakcore in 2019, huh?
Chris Brown released an album. That's enough for me. Indigo was really fucking bad.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the breakcore.
I'm starting to notice how many things went under my radar.
Yeah, same.
It's just, I don't know.
All right, can we get back to?
Okay, yeah, the good albums. Okay, Mint, what are your favorite?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wait.
AJR's Neo Theater.
All right.
Also, I think Logic's album,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dangerous Mind, that
Supermarket.
deserves a confession.
Love
Supermarket.
the book.
Best.
Look, how could it not be good?
Yeah, bro. Gotta listen to the album while you're reading the book
Oh yeah.
for the optimal experience.
No, but
For real, though,
but the experience of being in a car with some friends from the university, and then one of my friends from Chile was like, "Hey, Madonna album," and we were like, I was like surprised because Madonna still makes music, and that's the thing that surprises me. I don't know why we listen to that shit. It's just
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too. She basically makes money for a living.
okay.
Mhm.
So, Mint, what are your real favorite albums for 2019?
All right, so my album of the year, and this is an easy pick. This is by far my most listened to album of the year. By far the one that meant the most to me. We already talked about it in length, so I won't get too much in. But it's Igor, and
Yes.
it could be that I'm like a massive Tyler fan. I saw him live this year in September for the Igor tour. It's amazing. One of the best shows I've been to.
Oh, lucky ass.
And over time, it's like I always loved this album. I thought it was at least an 8 when I first heard it. I had some issues with the vocal performances, the pitch shifting. And not that I was completely against the idea of that, because I definitely wasn't. I just thought that he didn't use it correctly. However, I'm completely wrong. I'm not afraid to say I was completely wrong about that. The production, first off, is some of the best production he's ever made. I forgot who mentioned that it was his blonde. I think that. Oh, all right. I can see that personally. I think Flower Boy is more his blonde. This Igor feels like his "Awaken My Love."
I can hear it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
after
really
he-
good comparison.
Yeah, after I listened to it, I was like, I don't even know what he's gonna do next because like it was such a change of pace.
Yeah, and I figured if anybody else can do the style of "Awaken My Love," it would be Tyler. And not that it's similar sonically, although both like go for that retro feel. Like I can definitely hear a lot of 70s soul, like Boys a Gun, pretty much just straight up like 70s soul. What's Good? That little bird. Dun, 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 dun. That part reminds me of like Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, like Janet Jackson stuff from the 80s. Gone Gone sort of reminds me of like late 70s, early 80s, sort of like electro pop stuff. Basically a lot of old styles, but it's incorporated in such a new way that it doesn't necessarily feel retro. You don't listen to it and it's like, oh, this is Tyler paying an homage to this style. It's just like, no, he's taking. Yeah.
Honestly, with that comparison, Igor is head and shoulders above Awaken My Love.
Oh yeah.
And
Even though I
respect.
love Awaken My Love, but it has some issues. Not every song is amazing, but Igor, yeah, has honestly no problem. Like honestly, Igor at this point is probably like in my at least top 30 albums of all time.
Word.
Damn.
I would like to comment on the live show because, like, I will say that the studio versions really did not, at least the back half, were not like too impressive to me. But when he performed the final track of Igor live as a closing track, that was goddamn incredible.
Yeah, I like some of the live stuff better. Like the live version of Gone Gone. Oh man. And I love the studio version, but that live version, when he pitched it down, I don't know, it felt more emotionally affecting for me.
Yeah,
I would agree
I can
for,
see
like-
that because the thing with Tyler to me, and always like I prefer he's like I don't like the albums. I don't like Cherry Bomb at all. Like not that I don't like it. I think it's his worst album. It's mediocre. However, I love his Cherry Bomb stuff, his Wolf stuff live because to me, Tyler is more of a stage man than an album man, and I can see that in all the recordings I've seen from the live, especially from the Igor tour, because he certainly puts emotion on his performances, and you can see that, and I admire that actually, and I'm actually, you know, pretty hyped to see what will come from Tyler in the future. So yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna have to actually head out, everyone. But
Don't worry.
Enjoy
Have
the
a
rest
good
of
night,
your day.
Elliot.
Bye, guys.
So leaving that fucking Igor, we already praised it enough. Is there any other
Yeah.
album that was under your radar this fucking year?
Let's see. Something that hasn't been really brought up. Norman fucking Rockwell.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Norman fucking Rockwell was a really like. Have you guys listened to it, Gary? Have you listened to it?
Yeah, I did.
Thing is, though, I wasn't necessarily the biggest Lana fan. Like, she had good songs.
To me, To me, when
But I don't know. Yeah.
to me when Norman fucking Rockwell came out, I disliked her previous material. Like I thought it had nothing of value. Like and then Norman fucking Rockwell came out, and to me, there's this Japanese artist called Ichiko Aoba, and
Mm.
what to me what Lana did was take her style and put it on English and give her like her own twist on it. And to me, Norman fucking Rockwell is really a step up for Lana Del Rey. Like just the
Yeah.
just the title track alone is really fucking beautiful. This
Yeah,
album is
for her songwriting, like, oh my god,
The songwriting, like, it's
like
beyond.
it's completely
better.
unparalleled to her past releases. Like I thought, like her past stuff was like okay, like I could listen to it. A lot of songs were annoying, but like when I listened to this, I was expecting more of like the same stuff, but then I was like completely blown away. But I was already like told that it was like amazing, so I was like having high hopes.
so yeah, I mean I think Lana like Norman fucking Rockwell is an album that should have stayed under people's radars because it's really that good of a change in heart for an artist. Like the singer-songwriter aspects of this album are really good. I loved this album when it came out. It died like my hype died a little bit after a while. However, I love this album still. I think it's really great. Yeah, I think it's really
Yeah,
good.
I think like the month, because it came out I think late September or something.
Yeah.
I think from there to like maybe mid October, I listened to it a lot, and then I just kind of stopped listening to it. But it's still great.
Yeah. So, RBJ, what are your favorite albums from 2019?
I already said Igor was my favorite, but like if there's like other ones, I really liked Slow Tie's record. I really liked
Ooh.
Ventura from Anderson Paak. Ventura, like, God, I haven't listened to it in a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Slow Tie. I thought like I wasn't expecting to like it because like often when British people rap, like it's so annoying. But like a lot of songs were like really well produced on this, and like the rapping was just like really cool to hear.
Yeah, if you think British rap can be annoying, there's a subgenre called Irish drill where their accents are like that's like far more grating on the eardrums in terms of like a flow than like I would say any sort of British rap that I've heard. But go on.
Everything you just said cut out for me.
Oh well. I was talking about how Irish drill is more annoying in my opinion. But
well, I don't really have much to say because I wasn't really like discovering much, but like I really liked Zoo. I think it's like his best album yet. Like it.
Wait, what?
Zoo by Denzel Curry.
Oh yeah, I was into that, and a lot of I don't know. It's a thing that like when like an artist releases like some type of conceptual masterpiece and then they follow it up with sort of like a light, short, little fun album, like people don't really like appreciate it. Like when Vince Staples did it with FM, or like when Kendrick did it with Damn, or even this year with Danny Brown. And it's like a lot of people, they just kind of dismiss it. It's like, oh, this project, this is just whatever. But Zoo is actually really good.
Yeah, that's completely different situation.
Zoo is like, I would say that Zoo is honestly one of his best projects, and I feel like
it is his best. It's like extremely
I would have liked to second what Minto said about people like downplaying like simpler albums. And I would go with like FM is also Vince Staples' best project as well. Like I don't know if I feel like Denzel just really like the hooks on that project are just so good.
I played that album a lot. Like I don't know about the full album, but like some of the songs, like Shake 88 is genuinely like one of my favorite songs of the year. Like I played that shit so
Wish
much.
and Birds are
for sure those two
amazing.
Because
the production on Birds was like really good. I can't remember who produced that, but like, goddamn, that was really good.
So this has been a good year for rap too. Like
Yeah,
to
this
Yeah,
definitely.
those
decade
are
has
most of
been
my
great.
most of my really good picks are rap.
So, Soup, what are your favorite albums of the year? Like, from 2019, if you can talk.
Oh shit, I gotta talk. Okay. Um. Okay, I'm trying to pull this chart up. Hang on. Okay, so I'm just gonna like rapid fire through like some of these top albums. There's Mavi or Mavi. Let the Sun Talk. That was really cool. Um. There's also Ron Ray or Ron the Power Electronic dudes. Um,
Yeah, they're really good.
this is so fucking awkward and bad. Okay. Um. Oh, Hasegawa. The Air Nini. I don't know how you pronounce that. That was dope.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and Hiding Places. That was by Billy Woods.
Oh yeah, that I haven't heard. But one thing that brought me to mind, but that everyone was going crazy about, was the Glass Beach album. The first
Oh,
Glass Beach
that's
record.
actually pretty
Oh,
high
yeah,
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
like
it.
I thought it was okay. I don't know. I didn't
Okay,
love
I'll
it.
shut up.
I
Now.
would say it's a little bit better than okay, but it's not like amazing. However, I do think they have potential. Like
They
they're
do, definitely.
they're on my radar for sure.
yeah, I think that honestly, I rank the first Glass Beach album above Igor personally, because to me the first Glass Beach album is one of those albums that just works for a debut, as a debut
Yeah,
for a band, and
definitely a great introduction.
just gives a great introduction to a band. However, yeah, I think it deserves more praise. Like, these guys are definitely under my radar too, and I want to see what they make next. So Nate, what are your favorite albums of 2019?
You gonna put me on the
I
spot
didn't
like that?
finish.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I cannot say. I won't even like start a list. I'll just say Igor is the best thing I listened to this year, and
Amen.
I had like a lot of relationship troubles too. I think you know about that. So,
Yeah.
and I found out I was bisexual, so that shit kind of gets to me.
Yeah, me too.
Tyler
I
is
mean,
my fucking spirit animal. But yeah,
the thing with Igor too, with me, when I came out of the closet as bisexual as well, like later in
I'm
the
fucking-
year, is that this album relates like the personality of not Tyler, but the character he takes, Igor, into a deeper level with the fans. Like, I think Igor is great for what it is, and what it is, it's a really great exploration of sound, and the lyrics are great. The lyrics don't get enough praise on this album,
Yeah,
personally.
they are.
But
Yeah.
something I wanted to bring up, and this is sort of in connection with Flower Boy and Igor. With Flower Boy, when he talked about his sexuality, you felt more sympathetic. You felt like, oh, you felt like, oh, this is terrible. Like, the feelings that you're going through, the fact that you're hiding, your sexuality, and coming out with it. But you felt it from afar. You didn't, or at least for me, you didn't necessarily feel like Tyler. You didn't go in his situation. But with Igor, it felt more empathetic. It felt like, oh, especially since he's talking about a relationship, it felt more like I can relate to it more. It felt like I can put myself in the situation.
Jaden Smith cross
that
Tyler.
don't even get started on that shit.
Jaden Smith was actually pretty good live when I saw him open for Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm not. I haven't listened to his music, so I can't really judge. I will check some of his stuff out.
They were saying them two niggas was fucking. I was like, there's no way. There's no goddamn sense. But no, Igor is a bit vindictive in some places. I mean, Scumfuck Flower Boy sometimes it's just wholesome and then like I want friends, I want people to. He's lonely, but he's not necessarily saying he's romantically lonely. He just wants to be himself. I understand but Igor is entirely about like a relationship. So romantic.
Yeah.
Boy Has a Gun is one of the best songs of the year in my opinion, and the best one on the album, if I can be honest. So That one song encapsulates what I'm talking about.
I had that song stuck in my head for a very long
Fucking
time.
sing it at work, and niggas be like,
It's so catchy.
Oh, dude.
you know, first time I would listen to it, I was like, this nigga's not gay. And then I watched this nigga's gay. That's okay. The video is really nice.
The video's great. Yeah, I really like the house that they shoot. in.
One thing that people don't give enough credit to is the fucking the videography of Tyler the Creator. He's really creative with the music video clips.
Yeah, the videos for
Yeah.
you are super fun.
Even back in
And
his
that
old
actually
Odd
goes
Future
back to
days.
his
Yeah,
back to the first music. He was all about the videos, even like
yeah,
when his- yeah.
for sure. Like, of course, he blew up off of music video with Yonkers. Like,
And what he was doing with his live performances were super interesting too.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say he's like more of a personality than like for at least up until recently than an albums artist, at least for me. Like a lot of the stuff I respect him like a ton, but like even around the Goblin era, I'm just never ever going to listen to Goblin again.
You know, the funny
yeah,
thing is,
because it's trash.
It is
I
terrible.
don't think Goblin's bad. At least not for the time and for what he was trying to do. But I can understand how since Igor and Scumfuck Flower Boy came out, they're like, "What the fuck is this shit? I don't want to listen to this." You know. I think Bastard though is better than Goblin by miles. Even in
Yeah,
Yeah.
better. Inglorious, the last song of that, the first and last song of Bastard were excellent, especially considering what Tyler was.
Bastard title track is amazing. I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I fucking love it. I do have this question to ask, and then I gotta go get ready to work. Jeez, gotta
Don't
get ready
get
for
work.
work.
Don't worry.
Yeah, my bad, Chief. Is Cherry Bomb the worst album he's released, or
Yeah,
is it Goblin?
to me, Cherry Bomb is the worst album he released. No, to me, it's a tie
Yeah.
between. To me, Goblin is a little bit worse because Goblin shows that he was because before Goblin, you know, he had the fucking alias of Young Nigga, and under Young Nigga, he released he released a
The
bunch.
goat, the goat.
He released a bunch of singles and that, and the spirit of those singles passed then to Goblin. Goblin has some of the worst songs I listened to from his like I fucking despise Tron Cat and Her, like those two songs.
Everybody should despise Tron Cat. Like Tron Cat, honestly, the lyrics on there like hops in tear.
Oh
However,
my fucking god! I hate Goblin.
Cherry Bomb is kind of like he came out with Wolf, and I can see why people love Wolf a lot. However, Cherry Bomb was a big misstep after Wolf. Like Cherry Bomb,
You know,
Cherry Bomb had
think
its
people go-
moments. Yeah, Cherry Bomb had its moments. Like the opening of Cherry Bomb Death Camp, I like a lot, and Two Seater is to me one of my favorite Tyler tracks. However,
Yeah,
when he came out with Flower Boy, like Flower Boy just dismisses the other stuff just by existing, because it shows a Tyler that is more mature and that he still has the spirit to he wants to fuck up, you know, he wants to be a troll. However, it's still like a more mature Tyler, a Tyler that wants to make music instead of make memes. Okay. Like and that's how I see the other albums, as memes, not as
I'm not this edgy, rapey.
Yeah.
fuck misogynist.
exactly.
Yeah,
Just all the
but I feel like
I
people.
as a teenager manifested in my music, and now I'm done with that shit. That's what I'm assuming. At least.
Yeah, but I feel like people like shit on Cherry Bomb like way too much.
It,
Like,
honestly,
it honestly just has some mixing issues sometimes. Like, it's everything's too distorted.
like
But if that was
Yeah.
cleared up, I could see that as a 6, 7 out of 10, maybe.
I feel
honestly,
like
Some of the songs still-
the main problem is just it's like he was kind of like testing out a lot of the soul stuff for the first time and like trying a lot of new things. It's just like it's not paced well and some songs are drops, but like Goblin to sit through that fucking monstrosity all the way through and get one solid song out of the entire thing. I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna I would listen to a track or two songs of Cherry Bomb and I'll feel satisfied because Fucking Young is one of his best songs. And there's
I
there's
love that song a lot.
I couldn't listen to that shit in public, though.
yeah.
So after
Yeah, I really like Cherry Bomb. It's really good.
I
I
think
honestly think like Wolf is up there with like Flower Boy.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Maybe
I don't know
better
if I'd
because
agree.
like it gets way more personal sometimes.
I feel like the only way I can see it being better is if you're like an old Tyler fan and you connect with Wolf a lot.
I'm actually just pretty new to like Tyler, but like I really enjoyed Wolf when I listened to it the second time.
it took me. God, I should just listen to every Tyler album at work, but I don't really relate to Wolf. I just think it's pretty decent, good music. I listen to all. I think I can go from track 1 to the end, like without skipping a single song, except Tamales. That's a dumb song. I get he's just having fun.
I
No,
love
I
Answer.
love that song, bro.
It's
when
so-
he plays it live,
Oh yeah, he did play that live. Oh shit, yeah.
I should look that up if I can.
That was so good.
I've only been able to get through it very recently.
and the music video is fucking insane too.
I feel like okay, the thing about Wolf is that I feel like it's inconsistent, but it also is his
Yeah.
best song, which is Answer, which is just
Yeah,
like
oh dude, I just said it was like the best song in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. To me,
Answer is like
to me, the thing with Wolf is that as people said, like if you're an older Tyler fan, you'll like it more because you relate to it more. I don't relate to Wolf a lot. I relate more to Flower Boy and Igor. But yeah, I mean, there's still fun songs on the albums.
if anything, Wolf is a significant step up from Goblin. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
it feels like
significant.
oh yeah, for
feels
sure.
ideas and premises of Bastard and Goblin from a more mature point of view.
Actually, no.
Funny
I will
now
say
that-
this.
Mhm.
Oh,
No, sorry, go on.
Wolf and Goblin, Tyler's still in the same place. Like he's still very much an immature person.
Yeah,
However, he just knows how to execute it better. Like
Yeah.
Answer is definitely like it's his best song in his sort of immature stage of his career. Because that song, you could look at it and be like, "Wow, you're really petty." You know, why are you still angry at your father? You know, all this shit, and it's just like it's saying slurs at him, whatever. But it's like it's executed so well, so impactful.
I
And he
forgot
really,
this. I'm sorry.
really knows.
No, continue.
Yeah, you can continue.
Like he's like lashing out, but he's like still wants like
Yeah,
some sort of acceptance from him.
and I could see that being a really immature sentiment to have, and it kind of is, but it works.
I think it.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand that. Of course, I think it makes sense. I mean, I have severe daddy issues, but I mean, shit.
Like the song is just like purely about like the importance of like a fatherly figure.
Not gonna
I
lie,
just-
that
That track helped me through a lot. Like at least last year when I first got into Tyler, that song and specific and like the rest of Flower Boy took me through a lot of hard times. So
Yeah.
I like
Flower.
I'm always gonna respect Wolf even if I never listen to it all the way in full.
Mhm. So
I
yeah,
think
I mean,
Wolf was the first album of Tyler's that I listened from like period. I wasn't really big into music before then, but Tyler's like one of the rappers I would credit to me getting into rap. Because before I got into rap, I'd literally just listen to anime music and rock, like some fucking. I was like 13 at the time, so don't hurt me. But yeah, that was my prerogative.
I only listen to video game soundtracks.
Hell yeah, dude. Assassin's Creed 2.
I listen to new metal.
What the
so you guys-
fuck? That's your choice?
No, I'm just. I'm playing it right now. It's the.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, oh yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 soundtrack. Oh, that was my shit.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, my favorite thing for like most of my childhood was Papa Roach, so like you guys are all good.
Oh my god.
I was.
they
I
released an
loved
album
it.
this year. They released an album this year. Surprisingly, they did.
Wait,
Oh
this
wow.
year?
Sorry,
Yeah,
don't care.
This year. But I don't think anyone cared enough to
It's
fucking listen
crazy,
to
bro.
it. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh
But yeah,
shit.
I mean, Soup didn't finish talking about his favorite albums of the year. So
Yeah,
What-
I
what-
said I didn't finish, and like y'all just ignored me.
nah, don't
I'm
worry.
sorry.
I'm sorry, man. What are your
Okay, so I actually like. Alright, so I have this pulled up on my laptop, so I can actually look at this. Okay. So like near the bottom, I have like DJ Atari Jaguar. It's like this DJ mix. World is a. That's the
I've heard
title,
that.
and it's awesome.
It's cool.
There's also Dungeon Rap, the introduction. That was one that I need to. I didn't let it sit with me as much as it should have, but the time I did have, really awesome. Collider. That was like another one. It's like
Talking about a collider
shoegaze.
from Duster. No. What?
No, it's the freaking Arrow one.
Okay. Yeah. Because I wasn't aware of many DJ mixes released this year, or even mixtapes. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't know that there were released this year a bunch of them.
Yeah, there are quite a few. I think there's a second one on here. Alright. There's also Tom York. No one talked about that.
Anima. Oh yeah, that's one of Phallus' favorite albums.
It's really awesome.
I think
ambient
Anima
pop-
was. I think
pop.
Anima was good. However,
Yeah, I liked it.
yeah, it was good. It was just alright. But what did you like about it? Like, so, what did you like about Anima?
It was just like the atmosphere it builds. It's just very chill,
I
very
mean,
inviting.
Thom Yorke is evolving into a point where he just wants to make piano music all his life, and I honestly embrace that. I hope he did it better, but still, there are a bunch of things that I don't like about Anima. But I can see like the ambient being some things that drag a lot of people to the album. What else do you like about Anima?
No. Okay. Also, this is the Collider album I was talking about, and higher up we have fucking the Baby. His album was actually really fun. It was just
What album again?
this one I've come the Baby.
Didn't he drop 2 albums or something?
Baby on the first one is on my list. Baby on Baby, and
Oh, okay.
the second one, forgettable and bad.
Was it Kirk?
Yeah, Kirk.
Okay, because people were saying Kirk is basically just, it's too samey. But I'm not a big DaBaby fan. So.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I haven't
Which
heard
one
many
has
of his
intro
songs.
on it? Because intro is an amazing song.
Yeah, I like intro a lot. It's on Kirk, I think. Yeah.
Baby said.
All right, I should listen to that because intro is incredible.
Also, the dialect, from Filthy Tongues guys, they released an EP this year. That was really awesome.
I didn't know they released an EP this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's, hang on, let me find the title. Respect to the Authors. That one's. And then Euboa, H2O Sports, freaking Chopped and Screwed shit.
H2O Sports is really good, but I
bootleg.
prefer the
Yeah.
projects from like members of it rather than the
Fucking
actual.
Right near the end of the year, Macintosh Plus, that single was really.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for the new album. Honestly, like
That was super interesting.
I like vaporwave a lot, and I'm in that crowd, and
I don't even know if I would call it vaporwave.
Yeah.
It's a glitch.
Because-
It's just a glitch song.
because
like,
I have heard vaporwave similar to that, especially from bands.
but if you like listen to Vectroid's career, like post Macintosh Plus, which was basically trying to erase
Yeah, the
that album
Macintosh Plus.
from-
Yeah.
from her career, like it's pretty natural. Like she's done some pretty out of the box stuff in the past, and I would see
It is kind of disappointing. Like I am kind of sad that she's like turning her back to that album
Because that album
like,
gave her the fame,
that is literally like the most influential vaporwave album ever made. So like,
I don't know if it's the most influential vaporwave album.
No,
it's
it is
just
it is the most
popular.
well known. Yeah.
Like, it put vaporwave on the map, really.
I mean, when it comes around to the most influential vaporwave albums, to me there are Vaporwave is Dead, the 2814, the 2814 album, and the Death's Dynamic Shroud. Those are the three like influential vaporwave bands to me. I don't know if to call it bands, but yeah.
Are you gonna leave out Skeleton? Because he was doing the creepy stuff before Macintosh.
if we're like talking about like ambient vaporwave, like you can't forget about Telepath.
Oh yeah, Telepath. I
He
love
worked on
Telepath.
he worked on 2814. He was
The best ambient, the best vaporwave artist, of all time. I would say his
To me,
career
it's
as like
Enmesh. Yeah, Enmesh
Telepath
and
is
Telepath.
literally
Yeah.
amazing. He has created some amazing stuff.
Because to me, Telepath, I have a bunch of like Blue Dream. I would like to buy the cassettes for some Telepath albums. However, I
I
love.
can never say the names of his albums because they're all fucking Japanese characters.
So yeah, I mean, besides the Macintosh, I want to see what comes out of the Macintosh Blush album. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So besides,
Yeah, honestly, I was like a single. It was good, but I don't think if like the album is filled with that, I don't think I'm gonna like it too much.
I think she's gonna put variations of it.
I'm glad that she's introducing more people to Glitch. At least that's cool.
Yeah. So
Or,
what
but
do
what
you-
other albums did?
What other albums did Soup like?
Okay. Just in like these top few rows, there's Orville Peck, Pony. It's like this alt country, dream poppy,
Hmm.
gothic. It's like this weird mesh of genres.
Yeah, I heard of it.
And it's just awesome.
I still have to listen to
So
that. I
good.
saw like post punk as a subgenre. I think that seems.
Yeah, I think so. Also, Malibu Ken.
Oh
Aesop
yeah,
Rock and
Ah.
Tobacco. That came out in January.
Yeah,
It's just kind of
it came
always
out
been in,
early.
like,
Yeah.
my top 20. So good.
oh, that was really good. Yeah.
Okay, so in this top like 8, we have Tears of Joy by Mike. I don't know if you guys are.
I don't know that
but-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who Mike is.
Yeah,
Worked a lot with Earl in some rap songs.
yeah. And then he also had later that year he had War in My Pen, which is his own thing. Like Tears of Joy is kind of like a continuation of that sound, but like so much more refined and so many great songs from that. Also, number 7 here is there was actually 2 feature funk albums that made it here pretty high. The first one was, let me find that, All Together Now by Chance De La Soul. That was really
Chance de la Soul. I like that.
you look like, yeah, like I heard a lot of comparisons to Avalanches, and yeah, you can really hear that. It's just like all these influences like honing in. Awesome sound. And Tupperwave, like I think I found it like
He's
yeah, I
great.
found out about them and like just like the second half of I'm just so hooked by their sound. Well, I think it's her, but
Oh, never mind.
yeah. But yeah. Another one is like Knife Play, Pearl Tea, which is this awesome shoegaze record that a friend of mine recommended to me. And it's just really awesome. I really have much to say. It's really good. Number 5, it just saddens me so much no one was talking about it. Thanks for the Dance. Posthumous album by Cohen, R.I.P. Honestly, I feel like this is a better send off than You Want It Darker.
Hmm.
You know, he really
I
sticks
mean,
to this
I could see
folk
that,
sound.
but I think that production wise it's better in a lot of ways. However, I have a problems with the pacing of the album.
I can see that, yeah. Just like the more stripped back sound of this, really love more than. There's also Saijiki 3776.
Oh yeah, that's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
that was-
albums of
yeah,
the year.
I know that.
Yeah, I fucking
Yeah.
I fucking love how Seijiki is this it has a lot of elements from especially if you're a guy like me that has a lot of Japanese pop on his head, like a Japanese pop fan in general.
Yeah.
This album grabs elements from everything, from Fishmans, from the fucking old bands like Last Alliance, from even touches elements from recent pop albums from Japan. However, she does it all in this giant like song that is just the same phrase being repeated
Yeah,
over
it's just
and
kind
over.
of like
Yeah,
It's like
And-
all like comes together. So
and it stays with you
So
like
fun.
the Ichigatsu, and
Yeah.
it just repeats over and over and over, and it builds on top of it. To me, this is amazing. This is better than her last record, which was honestly, it was good. It was a good like introduction to the artist. I think that Saijiki needs more love in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this album was a big evolution. Was a big evolution from her debut, and I love it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That comparison to Fishman's, I've never like thought about it, but yeah, you can definitely see like.
I just have a
like,
quick
an album,
question.
Like, long season. Oh.
Go ahead, ask.
What were you guys' thoughts on Injury Reserve's release this year?
I'll get to that because it was
No.
amazing.
Yes.
I thought it was
I
great.
didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Okay, he's still gone.
I mean, I think it was fine for what it was. Yeah, the
I mean,
subtitle.
I wasn't in love with it. It's not my favorite from them.
I think the JPEG Mafia feature on it was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about.
Yeah, All My Heroes Are Cornballs like came out, and it was a surprise for a lot of people, because I think that All My Heroes Are Cornballs is just this kind of experiment in sound for JPEG, even for what he has done. It's like to me it's at the same level as Veteran. To me, I like.
Yeah.
I slightly prefer Veteran still, but I like a lot of stuff on Cornballs. Like I
Because-
love
Yeah.
Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought. It's a
Corn-
great-
Yeah.
Cornball
I
has
had that stuck in my head for like weeks.
Yes, the hook from it gets is so catchy.
my favorite All My Heroes Are Cornballs song is like what happens to people with 100 gex is what happened to me with this song, Creamy Waifu. Like I thought it was annoying, and then I ended up loving it more and more and more and more and more. I don't know why. I maybe because I'm a fucking weeb, but still, it's that combination, of sound for JPEG that I think it's an evolution for what he has done. But an evolution and experimentation, because this is pretty much more.
I would just go ahead.
This
Sorry.
this is more experimental than Veteran for me, in many ways.
Yeah, I really hope like more people could like expand in like this kind of sound because it's like super cool.
Yeah. What are your top three? Soup.
Okay, yeah, top 3. Number 3 is the self-titled by Duster.
Ooh, Dust.
Such an
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah,
comeback.
that
Yeah.
that came out late in the year, and that was to show that you need to stay for the entire year before making your fucking list, because I feel in love right with it, and it's my number 4 album of it. Like I love with it immediately. This is, to me, this is better than Stratosphere, and I have said it again and again and
Oh.
again. Yeah, to me this is better than
Honestly,
Stratosphere.
I agree.
Yeah, because Chocolate and Mint and Summer War, like those 2 songs together, are just fucking fantastic for the pace of the album. But my favorite song on the album is Hoya Paranoia. It's just so fucking good. Like this album is just consistency over and over, and it caught me off guard. I didn't expect like Duster to become. I like the compilation this released this year, also. However, this album was a big surprise, and I liked it a lot. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of just okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
You know
fucking
what?
ask.
I'm gonna be the first to say. Not the first to say. That's stupid. I really, 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 really like Duster, but this album just didn't hit with me.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I listened to it once, and it was just like, I tend to prefer lo-fi, and this one just kind of like ups it up, and like, it's so much harder to like get invested
That-
invested in the
To,
in
to,
the
to me,
grooves
to
and
me,
everything
it's,
that's going on.
to me, it's the other side, because to me, it's easier to get invested in this album than to get invested in Stratosphere. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a great album. A great album that came out later the year. What do you think of it? Soup?
Number 2, we were talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah, I just love that. Number 2 is Bandana. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah. But
It's
then
just-
it's fucking great.
It was my number one for a while, but my number one is gonna be but Hardcore 101. That is
Oh yeah,
that's the
those.
one I've come back to the most, and it's just one that's like, okay, this is gonna be something like a weird like thing to point out, but if you guys watch Vinyl Rewind, he
Yeah.
did another top 10 list, and his number one was like Anamanaguchi, and he was talking about kind of how like have this like personal connection to it, just like there's like this darkness to it. It's really hard to describe, but yeah, if you watch that clip, that I kind of have similar feelings towards this record. Yeah, like there are like there's a bunch of dumb shit on here, but there's also kind of like this serious side to it that
To me,
I think comes out most on I hate my friends. They don't. I love for the edge or something like that. Like tracks like that really just and
I mean,
overall
cause
it's just like
it's a one.
it's a very like,
Yeah.
personal album.
To me, my favorite song on the album, like my favorite songs, really are the last three. You know, You Hate Dorks.
Yeah,
The Dorkinization, Kevin Moves Out of the Pitch Creek. Those songs are fucking amazing. And to me, the fact that this has been made, like, this is just a band having fun, you know, with what they're doing. And I think that spirit comes out
I think
really.
like the earliest tracks were from like 15.
Yeah. But I,
So it's like-
I like this project. I think it deserves more people noticing it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean like despite it being 4 hours, it really just flies by. I don't think I did it all in one sitting. I just kind of went through it like throughout the day when I first listened, and yeah, it's just
Has anyone here listened to
Uh,
Darkcore 101 completely?
I haven't. It seems cool though.
It's
weird
actually
to
I
see
did.
cool.
My bad.
It's 4 hours. It's really good though. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like things that are long.
some final things I want to shout out. The self-title by Towers. It's like this awesome ambient drone vaporwave stuff.
Ooh, that album's good.
Yeah. Trust. Destroyer. That's some really good synth pop stuff.
Oh yeah, that one
Very
was
fun.
enjoyable. Yeah.
Filmmaker. He released a shit ton of albums this year. I only listened to the Love Market, and that was really awesome. Mabe Frati. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but released a really good ambient pop album. I'm not even gonna pronounce the album title, but Shitty Boys. It's like this really awesome hip hop group. It's so hard to categorize, but like it's just so fun. Little Brother. May the Lord Watch. That was really, really awesome hip hop.
Little brother's still
Yeah.
around.
Surprisingly,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it has been a great year for music overall. Yeah, great releases all over the place. And yeah, Sweatshop. What are your favorite albums of the year?
I'll just go through it. Just dumbass chart here. I'll just get through the tops that people want to hear. So Amir Van Emanuel. People don't like this one. I thought it was catchy. It's got some nice tunes.
I sure have some opinions on that.
Amir Van is not a good guy, but he's got a nice EP that I enjoy listening to.
It was okay.
Slauson Malone, I do not remember the title for it, but it's got the big dot in it, and it's a good album, and I like listening to it. Some of the best sampling that I think I've heard. It's super creative. Ariana Grande, Thank You Next.
Ah, damn.
Fantastic pop album. Also not a fantastic human being.
It's a I don't know what to think of it. When I listen to it, I think it's obnoxious. And
I can see that because Ariana Grande herself, so are the lyrics on here. Seven Rings is still kind of hard to swallow, but like the album just like it's really beautiful, and I don't know how she did it. My next album is Critical Defiance Misconception, which is a fantastic thrash metal album. Fantastic thrash metal album. It sounds like every other thrash metal album. City Morgue, As Good as Dead, Volume 2, I believe. Let's
not forget Patricia Texan, you know?
Oh, I'm almost there. But yeah, this one was really solid. I think it's a lot better than their other stuff. Danny Brown's new project, I think, is probably my favorite from him.
I thought it was disappointing.
Really?
A follow up.
I would say so, honestly, because I feel as though it's the only project from him that I've heard so far, because I haven't heard a lot of his mixtapes. It's just like every song is on the same level. Like Atrocity is probably better just because it's more ambitious and stuff, and it's more respectable. But like, I don't feel on that album that every song is great.
I feel
like there's some real songs that I don't feel just aren't as good as the rest. Like Ain't It Funny Today and Get High are some of the best songs ever. But
Yeah, Get High is really catchy.
Yeah.
Get High is just terrifying to me. Like, it's such a brutal description of like.
But like saying it's like his best album compared to like even the Hybrid, I would say.
I don't know.
Really?
I just like I really love the throwbacks to like 90s hip hop here. Like
Wow.
the production, which is it's always going to be good because of who's doing it. It's just like so colorful that I just can't like. I understand people not digging it as much, but to me, it's his favorite.
Yeah.
I like Deli Girl's new project. It's not as good as Evidence, but it's pretty amazing. Kind of digital hardcore, synth punk.
Mhm.
Echo 2KE.
Oh,
That was a good one.
that was
My
good.
favorite.
I totally get the hate for this project and this people who like. But I think it's and people who hate this group in general and the people in it. But like,
Played.
I don't know. I just return to this fucking album so much, and I hate myself for it that I had to put it on this list. But it's good, amazing production. I hope he makes something with like full-fledged songs in the future.
Yeah, that's my issue, is that a lot of it had potential, but the songs, like the structure and the composition is like non-existent. Like he really
I would
needs
agree.
to flesh out
Like
the songs
AAA
more.
Powerline is a prime example. Like that song is like just a drum beat and one hook for like 4
Yeah.
minutes.
Like I'd love that song so much if it progressed, but it's just there and it's like, all right.
That was my gripe with the album. Like I was like constantly asking myself like where is this going? And then the song just ended and I was like
I don't see
like,
I don't see that
disappointed.
problem as much as a lot of people do, because I do think there's amazing songs.
Yeah, I thought it was really
Calcium.
good, but like
Calcium is one of the most beautiful songs I think I've ever heard, and so is like Peroxide, which is one of the few Drain Gain songs that like has good lyrics, which is also impressive. Next I have a Forest Ballad by Ezeki. It's just a nice gas-inspired ambient album. All My Heroes Are Cornballs. That's a cool album. I feel like I don't think it's his best, but it's fantastic. It's really pretty and really catchy. Probably his most catchy album, I would say. Were you saying something?
No.
Okay.
I was just agreeing with you.
All right. Ev.exi's Forget. It's probably Ev.exi is like the only future funk artist I can still listen to. Like, I just feel like the things that they do is just like so impressive and stuff like that, and just so catchy. Noticing a lot of the same things. He knows Some Slight, which is a really colorful hip hop album that's pretty underground, and I think a lot of people. I've noticed him because Hino features on a JPEG Mafia single. I forget the title of that single. but I think it's an amazing. I think he's a really creative producer and songwriter. I think more people should give him a chance. Kelly Malone, Sacrificial Code, which is this really great ambient drone kind of like.
Yeah.
Kelly Malone's an organist, and like the things she does on this album are just so pretty. And, like, it's reminds me of Stars of the Lid, and it's minimal, the organic qualities and stuff.
It didn't end up,
Sunglow,
like, on my top 50. Yeah, that was a very good, like, just very calming, like, drone album.
For sure, yeah. Sunglow, which is this electronic outfit. He's like he's kind of hypnagogic pop. I don't really know how to describe his stuff, but I think it's really great. I think people should give us a chance. Hog Heaven's better though. One thing that no one's mentioned yet is Sonic Citadel by Lightning Bolt.
Oh yeah, the noise rock album, of course.
Which
it was
the best Lightning Bolt album.
Yeah, it was.
Also.
It is my favorite Lightning Bolt album. I think it's a great fucking I don't have many problems with it besides some decisions on production. However, I like it a lot more than their previous stuff. To me, it has some of their best songs, and especially like fucking Husker Stoned and Big Banger. Like those two songs are fucking great, and I don't know. I think
My thing is like the closing track, Van Halen 2045 or whatever. Like
yeah.
That fucking song. Oh my god, that is the best song they've ever recorded.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I don't even.
It's a pretty wild. Like whilst Schlagenheim is a more approachable noise rock album. This is one of the noisier things that came out this year that people just will not be attracted to immediately.
All right. Next up is a Leaving Meaning, which everybody talked about already. Moth Pylon self-titled. This is a really good shoegaze album that like from a promising artist, and I know Minto really likes some shoegaze.
Oh yeah, I should check that out.
It's really short EP, and it's got like, I don't know if it's a band. I don't know anything about the artist, but it's just a really beautiful project. Next, I can remember the title for it is the. Hold on here. Here it is. The Piku Niku original soundtrack, which is I haven't played the video game, but the soundtrack is like to the glory days of Nintendo stuff like that. And it's just like I listened to it like 2 days ago, and it was just amazing. Then we have Patricia Taxon, which Cringe already mentioned, with Pix and Bit, which I don't know how to describe this. I think it's her best album. I've not heard many of her albums, but it fills me with such joy every time I listen to it. Even the darker songs, there's just like such a colorful atmosphere here. Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time.
Oh yeah.
People have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants to give their opinions on that. That would be cool.
Okay, Gabe. Now that you're here, what have you listened? Has anyone listened to the fucking 6 hours of the Caretaker? I have. It fucking crushed me, and I think stage 6 is the best stage by far to me. But yeah.
Yeah, I did like the first 4 stages, and I still have not touched it. It's not like I've heard people call it like a terrifying record, and it's not really terrifying to me. It's just fucking bleak. Like it drains you.
It's a really tiresome album. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gabe just joined. Say hi, Gabe, my boy.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
Nah, don't worry. So Gabe, now that Sweatshop has been muted, what are your favorite songs of the album? Of the year of 2019.
Songs or albums?
What's your favorite album of the year? Fucking yeah.
Okay, so my favorite. I have a list. Hold on.
Your 5 favorite albums of the year.
Okay, my 5 favorite.
Before going down to
so-
Sweatshop. Sorry, Sweat.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's make Sweat finish, and then we go to Gabe, and then we go to me, and that's it. Okay.
Okay, I'll be quick. I'm sorry. I took really long.
No, don't worry.
Injury Reserve, self-titled, which is
Amen.
pretty much perfect. Black
Perfect?
Dresses, Love and Affection for Stupid Little Bitches. Fantastic. It's the best Black Dresses album so far. And it's really catchy.
Yeah.
Zexy by Cellar, which is a fantastic ambient project. Sellers' other material has not really stuck with me as much as this, and I don't know why. It's like all looped ambient, and it's just like so beautiful. Poppy Choke, which is an EP by none other than Poppy.
The greatest artist of all time.
The greatest artist of all time, Poppy. This is kind of her take on electro-industrial, and just like 5 just fantastic songs. Holy Mountain is still the best song I think she'll ever make. And my album of the year we already discussed is 1,000 Gex by 100 Gex.
And yeah, I mean,
All right, I'm done.
Gabe, what are your favorite albums of the year of 2019?
So do you just want me to like go in order from 5 to 1?
Yeah, 5 to 1.
Okay. So at number 5, I have the newest Ramla album, The Great Unlearning,
Oh shit.
which is a very
I was trying
nice
to talk about
return to
that, but I
form for the
didn't know how
band.
to band name.
I'm more of a fan of their death industrial power electronic stuff, but I did recently give their noise rock stuff a try, which is what The Great Unlearning does take the most inspiration from. It's got a lot of really long form drone pieces. In fact, it opens with a nearly 20-minute noise rock drone piece. Fantastic stuff. But the track that I definitely want to talk the most about is the final track, Natural Causes.
Oh yeah.
Wow. When I first heard that on my first listen, which I'm not gonna lie, first listen I was getting a little bit bored because this is a very long album and it's a very long-winded album. The repetition definitely eats at you after a while. But Natural Causes is one of my top 5 songs of the year, actually.
To me, it's
And
actually the song before that, the Procreation as an Imperialist Act. I love that.
that
one
is
too.
a great that is a good one too. I love that. I think like the second half of the album is like the best.
Yeah. It's starting
So
with with racial violence. Yeah.
racial violence, yeah. And I also liked Your Village Has Been Erased. That's like, oh, so good. So Natural Causes is pretty simple. Well, I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's very straightforward. Actually, perhaps the most vocal track on the album, I would say. One of the most vocal. There's a lot of, there's actually like 2 or 3 verses on here. It's about 8.5 minutes long. And, considering my favorite album by Ramla is, of course, their classic Hole in the Heart, where there's not really any actual spoken vocals on that album whatsoever. It's a lot of chanting and moaning. To hear Gary Mundy and his company actually sing on this album, and on this song especially, is a nice blessing. I still get chills listening to that song to this day. Like, it's been about 3 months, I want to say, since I first heard it. Still amazing. One of the best songs of the year. I don't really have much else to say besides that this is probably their best album from what I've heard in 25 years, out of the few that I've, picked out of here and there. And the few tracks I've heard since their 2000s revival. I would like to move on to my number 4 now, which would be the new Ride album, This Is Not a Safe Place.
Yeah.
I gave this a 5 on release day, but I decided to bump it down to a nice, solid 4.5. Seeing this or hearing this album for the first time was definitely an experience of its own. I definitely think Ride fell off musically after Going Blank Again in 1992, their second album. Carnival of Light is a very boring album, and I didn't even bother with Tarantula because of its awful reputation. I'll figure out how I feel about it eventually. I listened to some of the songs off of their return album, 2017's Weather Diaries, and it was good. The songs I heard off there were good, but I feel like this is finally a culmination of the reunion they've had so far.
I think Wright's previous stuff is better, to be honest.
I agree. I mean, nowhere's in my top 15 of all time, so
Yeah,
it
was a good diverse release. There's like a post punk song in there. There's noisier thing, and they're more kind of indie pop leaning. It was a very diverse.
Some electronica in there, like a little bit of it in there.
For sure.
Now, I will say this. My experience with this album is a bit different. I saw Ride live back in September when they were touring for this album. I had a front row seat. It was a front row spot. It wasn't even a seat. There was no seating. I had a front row spot, and I got to have those shoegaze wash over me. It was brilliant. And I think that when they performed the songs off of this album, they massively improved them. Hearing them live, a little bit more, I wouldn't say they were more fleshed out, but I feel like they were a lot spacier. And they definitely owned up to that wall of sound that shoegaze is typically attributed with. Because I did feel like on the studio album, there's a lot of limitations on their sound, which, could maybe differ for some people. But, it could well, I don't know what the word is. I guess, it could make their experience better. It could damper on it. Personally, it dampened on my experience, but I will still say it's a solid album, and it's of course, my number 4 of the year. Now, my number 3 of the year.
You were really excited when that came out. You gave it like you said you gave it a 5.
gave it a 5 out of 5 the day it came out.
I remember I have an interesting experience with that one. Is that I was this came out in the summer and I was seeing Lee Ronaldo from Sonic Youth live, and as I was walking out of the show, I checked my phone and I have a text from Gabe, and it's like, "You gotta check out this new Ride album." And I was like, "All right, wait." Download it and listen to it on the train home, and I thought it was really good. I just thought it was I heard it in an interesting context.
Yeah. So besides that, what are your other favorite albums, Gabe?
So number 3 is the much anticipated and thankfully very amazing self-titled Duster album.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's
Okay.
really great. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about that already?
So I have to say it's better than a Stratosphere. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Stratosphere is very close to a 10 for me. It's a very important album to me, but I will say that this is a fantastic return for them, and I'm very excited to see where they come from here. They go
like
from
20 years, you guys said?
Yeah, this is the first album in 19 years.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because Contemporary Moving came out in 2000, and then that was when they just stopped. So number 2, I have a bit of an unconventional pick. I don't know if this one's been talked about yet, but Keepsake by Hatchie is my number 2.
Oh yeah, I love
That's
that
a good
one.
one.
Underrated one.
Thank you. Yes, it's incredibly underrated.
Ooh, yeah, that
Stay
was.
With Me
I
is
need
one
to
of
listen to
my
that more.
favorite songs of the year.
What is?
Stay With Me.
Oh, that's such a good one. My favorite on here is either probably Not That Kind or Her Own Heart. I actually put Her Own Heart on my top songs of the year list on RYM, but this album was actually recommended to me by a friend. Few back when the week after it came out, I think, which wasn't when how I listened to releases. I would wait like 6 months, but I listened to it.
It was Rafi, right?
Yeah, it was Rafi, my boy Rafi. I listened to this and I loved it from first listen. I wouldn't say that this is a perfect album, and every single album that I've pretty much put in my top 5 at this point, I have at a 4.5 on RYM, except for Ramla. I think I gave that an 8.
Yeah.
But I would say Keepsake is a very solid album, and it's a very good example of things like dream pop and shoegaze in a modern musical landscape, especially with modern indie. And honestly, if she could maybe, spearhead a kind of revival of that classic shoegaze kind of ethos, I'd be all for it. And I'm very excited to see.
I think shoegaze is really coming back, like this decade and especially this year. Like
Yeah.
in Japan, there was a lot of shoegaze that came out, and also there's shoegaze cloud rap, which is also a thing that maybe shouldn't exist, but shoegaze is coming back kind of.
Yeah. So
I mean,
guess
this decade rap's been expanding a lot, so like
I guess you're number 1, Gabe, and it was my number 1 as well.
Oh yeah, we share number 1. I shouldn't even have to really explain this, but Fear Not Killing by Tool is my number 1 of 2019.
I haven't really spoken. We haven't really spoken about Tool. Yeah.
I'm just not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna not.
I'm gonna say a few words.
Okay.
This album is showing the band growing up, getting them more mature with their instruments, showing that they can make something related to their influences much more precise. It's a really good prog metal album. I adore it with all my heart. It shows the band fleshing out their material instrumentally, not lyrically, not vocally, but definitely instrumentally and conceptually. The lyrics are more fleshed out this time by Maynard. They're more personal than they've ever been but not personal like they're talking about Maynard's life or Maynard's experiences. Talking about Maynard's like kind of many.
Are Tool the band that wrote "Freak on a Leash"?
Of course.
No.
Yeah, SM, yeah.
Of course, the ones that released the album, Korn on 1991. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, of course, it's gonna be a lot. Like it got a lot of hate. It got a lot of hate, but still, and
I mean, yeah, they had their reasons, honestly.
no, they didn't. To be honest, people hate
Shut
on
up.
this. People hate on this album because they were expecting another Tool album, and this is a Tool album. However, it's not a Tool.
Like, what do you mean, like another Tool album, though?
Yeah, they expected. Of course, 13 years is gonna be hard to match. To me, they matched it. To me personally, they matched
No,
it.
I just feel like it was like a heavy disappointment, and they made like no growth with it. Like it felt
No,
way
it's
too much
like-
like their last album.
comparing their long songs
I am really okay with that.
to other long...
I am not like when I listened to it, like the songs were like spread out so much. I was just like really like constantly checking what the song was at, and I was just like, I don't like this. It was.
Fear
It was
Inoculum was good. It's just like not as good as the best Tool albums, but very few things are. So.
yeah, I thought it was just
I
like
agree
slow
with
and
this.
burnt out, and I don't find the sound to be very new or refreshing. I thought it was super disappointing, personally.
You know, it lived up to me for many reasons. However, it's just that level of fleshing out. Because if I compare Tempest or Descending or Invincible to other songs they've made, these are more fleshed out instrumentally and musically songs. Like the drum pattern. Like, to me, this is Danny Carey at his best, you know? This is... To me,
Well,
this is...
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's his best. Even I would not say it's his best.
Yeah,
section,
I
but
would
it's
agree that he
definitely
did really good on the album. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that this is my favorite album of it. It was, to be honest, but it is my official studio album of the year. I give it a 10 out of 10. I adore every single part of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I gave it a 10 too, dude. It's in like my top 20.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
Yeah.
It's a really great album for me. It shows the band, like it shows a great prog metal album. It shows a great concept, lyrical execution, musical execution. It shows a great talent for the band's part, and they lived up to the hype for me. And when I look at it with a more critical point of view, I can see that they living up to the hype of the entire fandom for like the 13 years that they haven't released any sort of music. However, people that love the album love it for many reasons, especially since this is the most personal to the listener Tool album. It's the most direct lyrically, to be honest. And yeah, and now that we talked about, I'm gonna talk about my favorite albums of not
Hey.
every single one of them. However,
Hey,
hey,
Oh wow,
hey,
you're
hey,
late.
it's
sorry.
Phallus. It's my boy Phallus.
what album can I jerk off or shit
Okay,
on
say
right now?
say yes. Yeah, we're talking
Okay,
about
Fear
Fear.
Inoculum.
It's
Alright,
great.
Fear
It's
Inoculum.
great. It's good.
It's a good album.
It's a good.
I
Yeah,
really enjoy Fear
thank you.
Inoculum.
Thank
No, it's
you.
not.
It is. It is. It
Oh,
No,
is.
it's not.
I turned around on it.
It's
on
the
it.
worst Tool album.
It's not the worst.
No, it's definitely
It's
not.
the
No, no.
worst.
Dude,
Not the
worst
worst
I've ever
album.
seen 1 to 10.
Undertale.
I think even Undertow's weaker than this.
Undertow is the
What?
worst one by far.
Undertow is weaker than this by far. Yeah.
Undertow's weaker. Yeah, I'm
What?
just gonna be honest. I think
Yeah.
To any
Undertale is the
non-Tool
worst.
I have every
fans
single one
early in the
of them.
voice
10 out of
chat,
10,
I
and I
very
think
much
Undertow's-
apologize.
You know,
wait. Tool
Bro.
is the band you made crawling in my skin, right?
No,
Yeah,
that's freaking elite. We already established. They made freaking elite.
I gotta say that Tempest, to me, Tempest is my song of the year. Tempest is my. my-
Okay, you're tripping now. You're tripping.
No, it's my favorite song. Of the year.
No, my song of the year is Fear Inoculum, so you can literally.
You guys are fucking clowns.
I don't care. I don't even care.
Okay, so yeah, it's a good album. Let's leave it at that. Fuck you, VJ. You know.
We all know Anima is best Tool album. Okay, shut up.
Okay.
Yeah,
also,
my
you
my
talk-
favorite
okay,
favorite Tool album is Lateralis.
Are we
followed
talking
by
Anima? I want to jerk off to Anima.
Okay.
Okay.
What are your favorite albums of 2019, Phallus?
Okay, my favorite albums.
Wise Blood?
Can I give off my top 10?
Say give out
Already
your
know.
top 10. Yeah.
All right. So my favorite album of the year by far was Titanic Rising. It is
Knew
a
it.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Indubitably.
Oh, I thought you might say Dorian. I'm not gonna.
No. Calm down. That one's coming next. The best
I
one
forgot
of
to
the
read
entire
Electra.
year
That album
is
was
Titanic
great.
Rising by far. The
It
second
is-
best
it is
Very
a
good
great
choice.
album.
Yeah, it was really
me,
good. Yeah.
was Flamboyant
I
by
love
Dorian Electra.
I gotta say something about
which
Dorian
one-
Electra.
which one
I
would
gotta,
consider a 10 out of
I
10.
gotta say something about Dorian Electra. It's not okay. So here's the personally. It's definitely not at all material for top best of the decade. Not by far any of his
Not
songs.
for the decade.
Not for the
perhaps.
decade. Yeah.
I just
Objectively
like
speaking, not really, but for 2019.
The only song I liked on the album And because
which
it was
one?
quirky, the only song I liked on Flamboyant that I stay with is Man to Man. Then after that, it's
Kinda
just
quirky,
It's
yeah.
great. Man to Man, I would dare say is my favorite.
How
one
do
of
you
these.
not like the title track?
The title track is incredible too.
It's fucking
Career
obnoxious and
Boy as well.
annoying. Yeah,
Career
I
Boy
don't
is
like.
incredible.
I gave the album a 5 out of 10. I
Okay,
don't like.
everybody take turns. Okay, let's not.
Okay,
I
then
don't-
my third favorite was Schlagenheim, which is just
Yeah.
once again a complete masterpiece.
Yeah.
Then probably Glass Beach. Surprisingly enough,
Yeah,
it
we
grew
talked
on me a
about it.
lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Glass Beach.
Shout out to Glass Beach. Then probably Ginger by Brockhampton.
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
really
Very
good
good
record.
choice.
It's my favorite. My second.
I didn't
favorite
bring that
rock
up the whole time. Oh my god.
It was
You
one
did.
of
should've
It's
my.
my
brought that
second favorite Brock. It's really, really good. It has a lot of bops on it.
It
A
has.
couple weak moments.
It has.
It was
if
easily.
If you pray right, is one of my favorite singles of the year.
That was a really
Yeah,
good single.
good.
Like I was
Very,
as
very
soon as
good.
that released.
We heard it at the same time, didn't we, RBJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really
And then
good.
they released Boycon. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting more hyped.
Boy, bye. Really, really good. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Then
what was their
Igor-
first single? I completely
The first
forgot.
one was I'd be more again. I'd be more again, which is the worst song on the
Yeah,
album.
yeah. I was like, is this gonna be good? And then they just released the other ones. Oh, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. After Ginger, I would say my number 6 would be Igor. Really, really good album.
Yeah, it's a really
For
good
me,
album.
it's tied with Flower Boy, to be honest. Like, they're
Yeah.
equally good.
Both are
After
10s
Igor,
for me.
then
Best of the
Leaving
year.
Meaning, Leaving Meaning. Really, really good Swans record. Very, very powerful moments there. Then Anima, which is just an amazing Thunberg record, his best work so far. There exists their addiction to blood. And then, surprisingly enough, my 10th favorite of the year is HAQQ by Liturgy. I ascended to that.
That
shit,
one was great. Yeah, that one was
it's
great.
really good.
So
I
thought it was okay.
Recorder in the background, like
I
a
gotta-
plastic flute.
I gotta talk about my top 10 now. First of all, I want to give some shout outs to the other. Like, I'm just gonna flesh out my top 15. Trust in the Life Force of the Deep Mystery by The Comet Is Coming. It was a greatly done. You know, I like it. I liked it a lot. It was a great jazz fusion album. I didn't listen to
Yeah,
much.
I like the EP more.
I liked it a lot. It was
God,
really
let's
like
do it.
Super Zodiac was one of my favorite songs of it. After that, I want to give a shout out to the compilation Capsule Losing Contact by Duster.
Yes.
That was really great as well. It was really good.
Right.
Before,
Does that even count though? It's all material they made.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's still remastered in a way.
I don't
They
know if it
still
would count.
yeah.
I didn't count it in my end of year stuff,
No,
but,
but I
it's
can
worth a nod.
I counter it because of the bonus material, like from 1975 to the bonus like Irato.
But that was
Memphis.
also not made in 2019.
Yeah, but still, I counted. You know. I'm
Fair
just
enough.
I'm just shouting out.
Mm.
It's not in my top 10. You know.
Okay.
So then is the
Question.
Thanks Sorry by Jeff Rosenstock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosie cock.
You got a
That's such
question.
good line, though.
Answer the question. Ask the question, Phallus.
Oh yeah. Have you all talked about 100 gex yet?
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
talked.
I was gonna
Uh,
ask that too.
yeah.
All right. So
Yeah,
it's
we
very
talked
simple.
about it.
Okay. I just wanted to say something on 100 gex because it's really it's like okay. The 745 sticky, stupid horse, and I need help immediately are absolute and complete utter garbage and need to be just burned, just like
The
taken
whole
off the-
album, bro.
Yeah, just dude, come, wait, RBJ.
Stop.
Okay.
You know, you guys just
The
like
rest of the
viewed
album, dude.
levels of suckage that I have
The
not
rest-
seen in many
The
lives.
rest of the
Yeah, I'm
album, though,
sorry. I
like,
have shit opinions.
Look, I was like, I had only heard Money Machine, Stupid Horse, and 745 Sticky, so I thought the album was absolute shit. But like, I was just traveling, and I had spent 4 hours inside of a car, so I said like, fuck it, and just heard the entire album, so it's just less than half an hour. And I realized that only 3 songs in the album are shit. The rest are great. There's actually an incredibly good one, Ringtone. So
How
yeah,
is it? How I don't understand how one could absolutely hate a song on there and not like hate the whole thing.
Yeah.
because no, 745 Sticky is just atrocious.
It's just
Another
this-
level of
this-
atrocious. I
this
need
album,
to
that song.
immediately.
This is
I would
the
still,
weirdest take. I
I would
like
skip that,
not like good or bad. This is the weirdest take we've
Yeah.
heard so far.
dude.
Yeah,
I legitimately, if I every single time that I plan to re-listen to Gex in the future, I will listen to 745. I may listen to Stupid Horse, but I will skip I Need Help immediately.
After
It's just It's just garbage.
I
It's
hate.
it's a second.
I
It's a
hate
minute long.
Money Machine to me is obnoxious as fuck, and I hate it. I give it a 0 out of 10 as a song.
So your
Uh,
truck is pretty small then.
I actually gave Money Machine my top 10 songs of the year. Like it's number.
I agree.
I wouldn't. Nah, it's not. It's not. It's an okay song.
The
It's
best
the
song
second
in
of the album.
Gex is Hand Crushed by a Mallet, but they're all 10 out of 10 tracks.
The best one is Ringtone for me personally.
Continuing
like
with,
that
with my top next album I want to give a shout out to is from a band I have learned to stan over the years. Ever since 2006 they've been putting out records. They're pretty unknown space rock jam band, fucking progressive psychedelic, called Orison Space Collective. Have released a bunch of albums in over the years that I've loved a lot. This year they have released an album called Freak Out in New York that is a collaboration with another band called Black Moon Circle, and that is just amazing space rock. The song the Freak Out in the Fjord, the subtitle track, is 36 minutes long, and it's one of the best songs of the year. It's fucking amazing jam band psychedelic album that just goes all over the place. That it fleshes out the influences of these dudes are very talented. Then my number 11 is from one of my favorite modern prog bands called Big Big Train. They've been releasing albums for a long time now, ever since the 90s. They are well known for their albums English Electric and The Underfull Yard. They released a grand tour this year that is just an amazing album, an amazing prog album that shows that prog still has a lot of things to offer. They have their song called Home Song. Home Song is incredible. These dudes just go all over the place with their influences. Ariel, it's pretty much old style prog with modern elements to it. After that, my number 10 is If When by the T Club. I love the T Club. The T Club have been one of my favorite bands for a couple of years now. If When is just a great album that matches up with their 2010 masterpiece. Quickly. This year showed me that prog still had a lot to offer, and not much people obviously didn't give a fuck, but I give a fuck because I fucking love prog. Number 9 is an album that I'm surprised that people didn't talk about until now. The fucking Mount Erie Lost Wisdom Part 2.
I was gonna talk about that.
I haven't heard of that one, but I've heard good things.
That album is one of my favorite releases of the year.
I was planning to listen to it like in a few days.
I honestly think Mount Erie keeps pumping up masterpieces after masterpieces.
Oh yeah,
the
Phil
song,
is
the
fucking
song,
incredible.
the song "Belief" is fucking amazing on this album.
Yes.
Lost Wisdom Part 2 just opens up with a fucking. This is just fucking emotional, He keeps getting emotional with each fucking album. After that is Schlagenheim by Black Midi, which is we already talked about it. That is fucking Western is one of my favorite songs of the year.
Mine too.
After that, we got the 3776 Jiggy album release, which we already talked about with Soup. That is a great pop album with a lot of Japanese influences.
Is that the one with a Japanese girl in a red thingy?
Yeah.
In the cover?
Yeah, that is the one that goes Ikimatsu. But as I told Soup, and Soup kind of, because he listened to the album, he kind of sees it. It has a lot of Fishman's influences, especially from the Kuchu Camp days. She uses a lot of influences from jazz.
Kuchu Camp's great.
Kuchu Camp is amazing.
She uses a lot of influences from Japanese pop, Japanese jazz, from Otomo Yoshihide's jazz project. She uses a lot of elements from that. She uses a lot of elements from Japanese pop from this era in the 90s too, and it's just a great experimental pop album because it's one giant song with different segments on it, and it's just really great. After that is the posthumous Glenn Branca album, The Third Ascension, that was released. It is Glenn Branca is one of the best in no wave, and this is just a no wave, beating your head and your ears with this fucking force that just pushes and pushes. The cool thing here, O la belle dame sans merci, is just a fantastic no-wave sound that closes the album in a fucking crushing way. And I adore it. The song The Smoke, it's 16 minutes of no-wave in its purest form, and it's just amazing. And it's so sad that this was performed by the Glenn Branca band, and it was just amazing. After that, number 5 is Living Meaning by Swans.
Great. It's great.
Number 4 is Duster by Duster, which we already talked
That reminds
about.
me. I have my poster framed already because I got Leaving Meaning on
Hey.
physical, but I haven't hanged it yet.
After
It
that,
looks really nice.
to be honest, if we leave out the first two, because the first two kind of doesn't count because RBG notes that, oh, fucking Fear Inoculum. And I always tell people that my connection to Fear Inoculum is personal, and I,
Fear Inoculum.
and I love it a lot.
The time signatures.
Absolute garbage.
my-
Biggest disappointment of 2019. Sorry.
You're the biggest disappointment of 2019.
Pogchamp.
The best album of the year for me, besides the first two, is almost a 10 out of 10, and I'm tempted to put it at a 10 out of 10 because it's fucking flawless to me. Is this year Shina Ringo's album Sandakushi? Just
Sound the coochie.
Shina Ringo is my favorite Japanese artist besides Fishman's. She's my favorite my favorite female singer of all time. She has released masterpiece after masterpiece. What?
Is the album the one that's Are you talking about the album that is 2 hours long?
No, it's not the album that is 2 hours long. It is it is this album. It is Shina Ringo.
I want.
It is this one. It is Sandakushi is a jazz pop album. Like Shina Ringo goes wild with the jazz influences and the features on this album. She uses vocalists from many parts of Japan, like Tortoise Matsumoto on the last song, and it's just an album that I think everyone should check out because it's just a love letter to Japanese pop and Japanese jazz. I love Shina Ringo. I think this has been her best project, and I think that this is the comeback that fans have been expecting for a long time. And yeah, my number 2 album of the year out. Okay, so I have to clear this up. Soup knows where the number 1 comes from, but I'm gonna explain it afterwards. Number 2, my favorite studio album of the year is Fear Inoculum by Tool. I give it a 10 out of 10. I love it a lot. I never get tired of it. I got the fucking physical album, and I'm so happy with that. The packaging is amazing. We should all praise and suck dick for it. Yeah.
I see.
My number
Garbage.
my number 1 album of the year.
Oh, you're not gonna listen to your number 1?
It is my favorite studio album of the year. However, my number 1 album of 2019 is a bootleg, an unauthorized.
I know what this is. I
Oh.
know what this is.
It's
It's the.
is the Fishman's. Yeah, Fishman's.
Yeah, knew it.
98 1227 Otokatachi no Wakare that came from the Fishman's server. So I get to give a shout out to Silver, who has been on the Fishman's podcast. He released this bootleg album, which is basically one day before the legendary 98 1228 Otokatachi no Wakare. It's another 10 out of 10 for me. Instantly fell in love with it. Loved it completely. It's a heartwarming reunion, and with 98 1228 I love the second part of the album, like the long season performance, the baby in the air, and the melody performances. However, in this album I love the first half more than the second half, and I think if I mix both of them, I have my favorite album of all time in all its glory and wonderfulness, and I adore this bootleg performance. And even though if the sound recording is not the same, it's really fucking amazing and really worth of praise, and I love it a lot.
Would you call it better than the famous live album?
No, I don't
Or-
call it because the famous one, Otokatachi no Wakare 98 1228, has Long Season, which is my favorite song of all time besides Dogs.
Oh, and this one doesn't.
And this no, this one is the same repertoire. However, the performance on Long Season is not as good as the one that is on 98 1228. Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
see.
So, like, do you think that if if there was an album where it's like, okay, this is the best tracks from each concert, just
Yeah,
pick and
exactly.
choose.
If
That would be your favorite album of all time.
yeah, like surpassing
That's
any.
interesting.
Yeah, because if I mix
Do it.
the second part of Smiling Day Summer Holidays to Long Season from the Otoko Tachino, the official release at 98/12/28, with the first 9 tracks from here, from O's Live to Walking in the Rhythm, into one giant album, I would have my favorite album of all time. No,
That's interesting. I've done that with albums before too, actually.
and
So
What
that's
album
fun.
did he? Okay, it was a 2 live albums, and which was the third one?
what?
It was just. I thought he said it was just 2. It was just the 98/12/28, 98/12/27.
Yeah, that is
Freshman.
those are my
I
favorite
think he said
albums.
2, not Tool.
Yeah.
No. I
Yeah.
understand. I understood a third one. Like I heard a third one.
No, there is no
oh.
third one.
No.
Yeah.
Oops.
I mean, there's like Old Mountain, but like
Yeah.
there's like other like
Those
live songs
are
out there. Like,
our favorite albums
from
of
the same floor.
2019. This has gone for a long time, more than expected actually, for almost 2 hours and a half. We had our moments from people joining in and talking about Igor again and again and again because he deserves it.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Do you guys want to try to like
Same.
find an album that everybody here could like as everybody comes together and picks?
I think everyone agrees that Igor is the best.
No. I don't agree. I don't agree.
No.
You're poop.
Titanic Rising
You
is
stink.
way better than Igor.
No,
No,
no.
shut up.
I mean,
Shut up, dude.
I mean, as a group, you idiot. I mean, if we have to pick an album as a
Okay.
group,
Yeah, I know.
we would pick Igor.
As a
Flag
group,
time?
we can all agree Fear Inoculum was the biggest disappointment of the 2010s.
Shut up.
Nope.
You know what
Only
else?
entire
Okay.
decade,
I haven't
dude.
talked
Right,
about
so
how much I
what's-
dislike
what's-
Titanic Rising.
Which is in your guys. What was the
Okay.
most mid album of 2019?
Last Beach.
Okay.
Oh,
I have to
Oh,
wait, what?
oh my god. Okay.
The most mid album of the entirety of 2019.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I dare say is
The most what?
The most
Mid.
mid album.
Actually, no. It's either Glass Beach or Come In.
No, I think
the Flaming Lips album.
Groove Denied by Stephen Malcolm.
That I can give you that.
Hmm.
That album was very
actually,
I haven't heard
Phallus,
of that one.
Phallus brought something interesting. Yeah, the Flaming Lips album was
The
really
Flaming Lips
fucking
album
mid.
would be
Yeah.
was extremely mid. Also, the Talkies by Girl Band.
Oh no, I love
Uh,
that one. Fuck you. You know.
I found it mid. Which one else? Emmanuel
to
by
me, the most
who-
mid album of 2019, like the one I was really not big of a hype for. Like honestly, there are 2 albums. There are two albums. You know. Fucking American Football self-titled from 2019.
Oh my god, that was so mid. That
Yeah.
I
shit
didn't
is
listen
so
to that.
boring.
I should have listened
That
to it,
shit
but I
is
didn't.
so soulless and boring. It's
Yeah.
disappointing.
And also after that, the fucking Sum 41 release that was released this year.
Wait, Sun 41 still makes music? What?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Fear Inoculum came out just this year. Come on.
Also,
Another
also-
extremely mid one.
no. Another
Okay,
one.
I'm
No.
gonna go.
I have a mid one. The Mark DeMarco album that came out this year, 2019,
heard it.
was really fucking mid.
Oh
I
god.
gotta
I have
say
not
that.
heard it.
Yeah, that
I
was
haven't heard it, but
I
I've
was
heard
just
people say
yeah, that was just dumb.
Just J. Paul was extremely mid. Which one else? Beneath the Ire by fucking Pixies.
The Billie Eilish. No,
If you
that
still
one.
listen to
that
the
one
Fire
was-
Pixies
no,
music,
Beneath
the
music,
Ire
music,
by
No,
music, you breathe
That
into
one was
thinking.
horrible. That one was just
I
alright
thought it was bad.
disappointment.
I thought it was a 2.5.
That one was no. I gave it a 4 out of 10. You know, it's a disappointment. And no.
Two.
Oh yeah.
So, yes.
The Everyday Life by Coldplay album was a fucking mid album. You know.
No. I heard it today for the first time. It was great. I loved it. The first half of the album is just flawless.
This is really late into the year, but Travis Scott Jack Boys, that's really mid.
Oh yeah.
I didn't.
The Billie Eilish When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go was fucking mid for me.
Oh, I hated
It was
that.
really mid.
I
That one was
actually
very
liked
mid,
that,
too.
I'm not gonna lie.
It was
I gave it a
okay.
It had some very strong tracks, I guess, but
I'll
some
say
were
her
just.
newest song is better than any. Her newest song is
Oh
better
yeah,
than that album. entirely, I'll say that.
the Baby Metal album that came out this year was fucking mid and forgettable.
Which one?
The Baby Metal album, Metal Galaxy.
Huh?
Yeah, you don't know.
They've always been kind of meh.
Yeah. Also,
I've never heard of them.
Sweat's album from this year. You know, it was
Whose?
really. The Sweatshop just left.
Ah, bruh.
The Flaming Lips album
what do
was kind of disappointment, and Flamagra too from Flying Lotus, for me was
I
disappointing.
I didn't have any like expectations for the Flaming Lips one because everything the Flaming Lips has released since, let me check the dates, has been just like mid, not bad, just there. Like
Cis
did
Embryonic? I would say Cis
It's
Embryonic.
Yoshimi.
dude, I wrote
embryonic though. That's fucking.
I wrote a little review on RYM that is like, it's not bad, but it's literally every other Flaming Lips style song ever made, just again with a little bit less energy.
No. Have you heard their Have you heard their cover album for the Sgt. Peppers? The with the little hair from
I've heard that.
Wow.
that one was horrible. That one was fucking just outright.
I kind of liked it. Yeah.
Their cover albums are trash. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have heard a shit ton of Flaming Lips, but I haven't heard the big important ones because I discovered the band through my this release radar and before I knew what like good music was. So I've heard
No.
King's Mouth.
No. Wait,
heard
hold
Oxymoronic,
on.
just very mediocre.
Hold on.
Yes?
Soup, I gotta say something. I love Embryonic. Embryonic to me was the last truly amazing Flaming Lips album. I love that album a lot.
Embryonic is a 10 out of 10.
I also
Gotta
am a fucking idiot who listened to their 24-hour long album, the Seven
Oh,
Skies
God.
Age 3.
Oh, yeah,
Another
I forgot
one.
was doing that.
I liked it.
Sweatshop's back. Yeah.
Okay, so Sweat,
I'm hearing
we were talking about your album, which was really made this year from Dakota Condition.
What album? Like, what did you say?
Dakota Condition, like Sweat released an album called Dakota Condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was good. It had its moments, you know.
Thank you.
What else? The Deer Hunter released an album this year.
That name rings a bell, but I can't recognize
I
it.
gotta get into Deer Hunter. They're one of those. Are they a band?
They're a
I think isn't there's Deer Hunter and the Deer Hunters? It's like two separate things. Am I
no,
stupid?
it's Deer Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I gotta get into them.
I got another album which I thought was very, very mid, but I don't know. Like on Rim, they jerked it off to so much, so I don't know how much of an outrage you're gonna get here. Bandana was extremely mid.
No,
like,
shut the
Bandana
fuck
by-
up.
Fuck
Go
you,
fuck
fuck
yourself.
you,
Go
fuck
fuck
you,
yourself. Yeah.
fuck
Go
you.
fuck yourself. Yeah.
It's at least 6, dude. Come on.
I know a 6 is mid.
No, I would consider
Uh,
6 good.
No,
the,
six
the,
definitely
the,
not.
oh
Five
yeah,
would be
yeah,
good.
yeah.
A 5 out of 10 would be
Like
good.
an album that was getting
I gave it
really,
a 5 out of 10.
an album that was getting really big fuss that I really didn't like that much, that I thought it was overrated as fuck. To be the most overrated album of the year, Slipknot, We're Not Your Kind. Oh fuck!
Let's just not talk about
I love
Slipknot,
this
guys.
Slipknot.
No, let's just not.
I
talk
like
about
Slipknot better than Bandana.
Not
Uh,
Are you serious? Oh, fuck you, Phallus. Oh my god.
Yeah, I am. Bandana Pinata is way better than Bandana.
Hey, I agree.
yeah, I
but-
totally didn't like Slipknot. No,
Oh, yeah.
I really.
Also-
no, yeah.
also the-
Slipknot one was pretty
Also, the
decent.
Sun Kill Moon album this year was really mid.
Yeah, I totally didn't like Slipknot.
Yeah,
Wait, is Isaac in the voice chat right now? Can
No,
I say
he's not.
Nah.
Okay,
No,
it
he's
was
not.
It was pretty garbage. from what I heard.
Which one? Sun Kill Moon? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that Isaac just like came like a billion times over that one. Also, yeah, Bandana was mid, and I will stand by that. Although
You're
I
gay and
need to
stupid.
re-listen to it. I heard it like twice some months ago. I think in June. Or July.
The Sleater Keeney album this year was fucking mid as well.
It was.
I
I liked some songs from it.
Oh no,
I heard it
no,
was
no, no.
terrible.
I'm mad at them for kicking out Janet though.
Okay.
I can't really.
Okay. And I think it's time that we have discussed enough mid albums. What were the bad albums of 2019?
Oh,
Worst.
Okay,
The-
I just
the
wanna
Chris-
bring up one more.
The Chris
I-
Brown album was fucking bad.
100.
Chance the Rapper, The Big Day.
Don't
Can't
slander
forget
Chance
about
the
Fear
Rapper.
Inoculum.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Okay, Big Day. I only know one song, and it was Hot Shower, and
Oh,
Hot Shower was pretty good.
Hold on.
That was amazing, bro. Hot Shower is like.
The Blink 182 album from this year
Great.
was fucking
If that was
garbage.
on like a comedy rap out, if hot. Okay,
Still
go.
exists?
Oh, the Ed
Yeah.
Sheeran album was fucking awful as well.
Wait, I didn't even know Ed Sheeran made an
those are-
album this year.
Yeah, he did, and it's horrible. It's number
Oh, yeah.
one collaboration
Uh,
project. It's all collaboration
Gabe.
projects.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
with
he
black
did
Gabe,
make that. I
Gabe,
forgot
Gabe,
about
just
that.
a couple white people who think they're black people. It's just
Whoa.
garbage.
Gabe.
Like, no. It's like it's just so bad. Like it's just Ed Sheeran with rappers, but worse. Like it's just bad. It's really, really
Honestly, like
Discussion
Gabe,
point. Does Ed
Gabe,
Sheeran
Gabe.
make music?
yes.
Gabe's
I'm
Gabe's
gonna say-
favorite
I'm gonna say yes, but it's just-
Gabe's favorite female artist released an album this year. Avril Lavigne
No, it's-
released
what-
Head Above Water.
Oh god, don't even talk about that. Okay, that was awful. I
Head above-
really gave that a 0.5.
Head Above Water
Okay,
was
That
fucking
was
awful.
so bad.
The Bring Me the Horizon album was fucking
good.
awful too. The Bring Me the Horizon.
I have the Bring Me the Horizon album over Bandana.
Are you? Oh my
Oh,
god! Are you
what?
serious?
Are you
Oh, dude,
serious?
honestly, you're really.
Are
I
you
have my list
serious?
really mad.
I have my
I am
list
going
right
to
here. I
sting
have the
you
Bring Me the
alive.
Horizon
You
album
like
over
ammo?
Bandana.
You like ammo? For real? You like
More
that
than
shit?
Bandana,
You guys
yeah.
You like that
and then you guys,
It had a couple really shitty songs. It had a couple
you guys like
other
fucking
tongue
fear
was just
inoculum. Oh my god!
but still.
Okay.
No,
So,
the one that is really, really bad, the Viper album, Sharpstone Bandle, that shit was atrocious.
Viper is cheating.
But that's just Viper, bro.
Viper's
I will not tolerate
Oh,
Viper's
girlfriend.
slander.
Oh yeah.
Sharon,
No.
Viper is
We have
good.
we have to talk about the two crown jewels of this year. Our favorite band of all time, Weezer, released 2 albums this year. 2 awful
Black
albums.
That's my favorite of the year, honestly.
Rivers
Dude, Rivers Cuomo needs to be shot. Like, he should not be able to use curse words.
euthanized.
Dude, it's so bad.
I
Like,
relate with
the
every
moment I
word.
heard him say motherfucker in the album, I just knew that I was about to hear one of the worst things of 2019. Like, also, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind by Logic.
I literally like. I
I
literally.
didn't even bother with that one.
I didn't bother with Super-
like the Black album and him being like, it's not that bad. And I was like, what the fuck?
Well, just like listening to the Black album, and
Yeah.
giving it a 3.5 out of 5. Like,
Yeah, something
you
like
need to be
that.
euthanized.
Oh, the Hobo
Also-
Johnson album. The Hobo Johnson album.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
I didn't listen to that, but I've heard many things.
That was horrible. That was horrible.
Dude,
And
another one.
no.
Oh, by the Horror Last Resort. Horror Last Resort. That one was shit. By the
It
Violent
was
Femmes.
okay. It was mid.
I really disliked it personally. I thought it was really insulting in a way, like compared to their previous work.
Well, now we have talked about awful shit, we have talked about mid shit, and we've talked about the best shit. And obviously, RPJ's takes on Fear Inoculum fall under the bad shit, you know? But still, we all agree that Fear Inoculum is one of the greatest albums ever made.
Fuck
Thank you for
That is a
Charles,
horrible
yeah,
take.
3
That
out of
is
10.
Thank
that
you.
is.
You don't
Oh my
like my
god!
opinion, therefore you're stupid. Lol.
Shut up, retard.
So this podcast has been a wild ride that I've enjoyed a lot, and I hope you guys did as well. So yeah, I mean, next week we're gonna finally record the second part of the Beatles podcast, and we'll upload it on full. The 6 hours of that shit are gonna be up in one video. So yeah, get ready for that,
Alright, I'm down for that.
because we need to talk about a lot of shit then. It's been a couple of months since I've uploaded anything to the channel, so my big apologies for that. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. We have been naming the people that have been here that I remember. Nate, who has joined in to talk about Igor and comment about Igor like all men have to do. Gary, which is here. RBJ,
Yo.
Mint, who can't talk at the moment. Soup, who has brought up
Alright.
a great
Scratching
selection.
my balls right now.
Gabe, who has been on the last stretch, but it's still really, really fun time.
Sorry, I was
Phallus,
with my family.
Phallus with fuck your family. You know, you gotta call
Hello,
out.
hello.
Fuck your family.
Dude, I was at a fucking soccer game of all things. Like, it's not even funny.
El partidito del
It better have been
Ballenitas.
Little League.
No, it was Mexican football. What did you expect? And the stadium was like 30 minutes away too,
Dude,
like
Mexican
an hour. in
football
total.
is my favorite emo band.
Mexican football.
Dude, but for real, it was
How
so
do you say
shit.
never met in Spanish?
Nunca nos conocimos.
No. Meant. Nunca. Fuck.
Nunca
My
significó.
translator-
Nunca significó.
Yeah, nunca significó.
Nunca
Never
significó.
meant. Nunca significó. Or
Porque nunca
Nunca-
significó. Something like that.
or meant as in I didn't mean to do that. Fuck, my inner translator broke.
and Sweatshop, who has been here and has been welcome.
Hello.
So yeah, this has been the Music Buddies podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And good night. Say bye, guys. Bye.
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 Uh,